We are? Yeah. Oh, shit. Trying to hide my own costume now. I mean, it's kind of hard to center it if we don't have you in the frame to see. Because you take up a lot of the screen, bro.
Are you trying to tell me something?
No.
Okay, good.
All right. Did.
Oh, motherfuck.
All right. Well, while you're fiddling with the camera, I'll go ahead and see about sharing the link. You little camera fiddler. Thy kingdom come. That's this week's episode title. All right. We're gonna.
I think that works.
Share. Copy link.
You know, I can commend you
What did I do?
for wanting to start off 2022 on the right note.
Oh yeah.
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 2021 has been awful.
Yeah.
However,
Oh
we're
shit.
still in 2021.
Ah, god damn it. More of these gummies.
I had to get you.
They're delicious. They're delicious.
Black first.
We need to change that thumbnail picture.
Do we?
Mm-hmm.
If Hector insists on not coming to the show, we could at least take his camera. That fish lens makes us look slimmer.
Yeah.
I don't have to hold my breath every 5 seconds so I can hide this like stillbirth that just doesn't want to come out of my stomach.
It's still. All right. Share. Post. Posting. Bada boom. Gabagool.
We'll pull up my notas. We still need to figure out when Louise recording.
The year end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we do got some matches to watch.
We do.
And we might have one more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For argument's sake.
All right, so posted on the HWR page, posted on the personal page. Looks like we're good. Are you good?
Am I?
Right?
Am I?
He's right. All right, well then.
When you're ready.
Live from the landing strip in Houston, Texas, it's the 392nd edition of Houston Wrestling Radio. This is Abel.
This is Chris.
And thank you so much for tuning in today, guys. We very much appreciate it. If you're watching this live, go ahead and log into your YouTube account or your Google account. That way you could chat along with us live in the live chat here. I'll have it pulled up here on my handy-dandy smartphone. I'll see your comment. I'll try to involve you as best as I can in the show. So feel free to fact check, ask us questions, talk shit, just say hi, whatever. If you're not watching this live, that's okay. You can still interact with us on Facebook, facebook.com/Houston Wrestling Radio. Are
you porn account still active?
What?
Yes.
No.
Our Houston Wrestling Radio
No,
account still rocking.
No.
Oh, we rocking.
No. It's OnlyFans now.
OnlyFans?
OnlyFans. Yeah.
How much revenue have we generated so far from the OnlyFans?
Settle!
Damn, settle money.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. We'll
Settle
get
dinero.
All right, so let's preface the first conversation with a little bit of catch-up, because it's been a while. Why don't you tell the nice people that are watching at home or wherever they are, how you been these last couple of weeks? What you been doing?
Been all right.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to tell them about your round two?
Yeah. I need more of these people with that bullshit. I got sick. I'm fine. Whatever.
He got COVID for the second time.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as bad as the first one.
No. Like most sequels, the sequel sucked.
Well,
wasn't as new, as intense, as
RoboCop
exciting.
2 has entered the chat.
True. I said most, not all.
Okay, good. Good. There's exceptions.
There's exceptions.
Spider-Man 2 has also entered the chat.
Yeah. But no, COVID. The second time around, no big deal. A couple of days, well, maybe like 5 days, a little bit less than a week. I was fine.
Good.
What about you? How you
Man, try to go to San Francisco for Metallica's 40th birthday. For my 40th birthday, I didn't bring back enough Omicron for anybody. Not even for me. So my dumb ass had to go back to work after my vacation.
Right, sucker.
I know. There's one in every rapper. But at least we're better off than WWE.
Oh, why is that?
They're losing people left and right. Seth, Becky, Big E. They pulled Roman, but that's separate. There's a fourth person. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. They were pulled off of weekend house shows.
I forget who it was too now.
Especially the MSG show, the day after Christmas. All that talent was pulled off for COVID scare.
So no MSG.
They went.
Oh.
They still had it. It's just they're like. So then word comes out. Vince is like, you know what? You can't test positive for COVID if we don't test you.
Oh, yeah.
So one of your top guys, immunocompromised, is in the middle of all that riffraff with Roman.
Yeah.
What do you think, if you were in Kevin Dunn's shoes, about WWE's handling of the Rona's cousins?
Oh, well, I mean, first off, Kevin Dunn's an idiot. So I wouldn't be surprised if Kevin Dunn is like all fucking QAnon about it, thinks that fucking COVID is a hoax and, that the vaccines give you microchip superpowers or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised at that. So I don't know. Like, if you really putting gummy bears in your beer?
Trust me, they'll taste a lot better once I get to the bottom.
Oh, I'm
more
sure.
motivation.
Yes. So I don't know. Kevin.
Okay, fuck Kevin Dunn. What do you think about Vince McMahon's decision to just pull back entirely on the COVID testing?
I think it might be a little short-sighted and reckless. Jojo has entered the chat. He said, "Cough, cough." Jojo, are you better? Are you good? I mean,
he got better after about a week and a half.
Good.
He tested negative after a week and a half.
Good.
So he's still alive and kicking, obviously.
Good job, Jojo.
Cough.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, there's so much going wrong with the WWE that I can see how it could be a time of desperation right now. Pull no punches, pull out all the stops kind of bullshit. And this is one of those like desperate times call for desperate measures. It's like, well, let's pull back on the COVID stuff. Why? Because we're losing people. We need people. And we're losing audience, and we're losing this popular culture war against AEW. I could see that I can see that Vince's judgment could be a little clouded.
Clouded might be a bit of an understatement.
Yeah, I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah, because there's a lot. There's a lot of layers to this, so I'm gonna just pick one. This goes back to like the half-assedness of the term independent contractors. If there's some independent contractor there that doesn't feel safe about working in that kind of environment, but yet he either has to or he's let go.
Yeah.
So it's not, are you independent or are you under the thumb? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It sucks for the people involved, especially with Becky going home with her newborn-ish, her baby girl.
Becky, that was the fourth one, right?
Yeah, I called it. Seth,
Becky, Seth,
Big E, and somebody else. I forget.
Shit, who was the fourth?
This is the best time for, if anything, this is the best time for WWE to return to the Thunderdome. And I know that's not a popular opinion among wrestling fans at the moment.
Yeah.
But there's the one thing that eases the pain is that WWE is not wrestling. WWE Sports Entertainment. WWE put they're a programming machine at this point. They have to have some kind of fallback so that they can continue uninterrupted whatever they're doing, because they put on shows for Peacock, shows for USA, shows for Fox, other markets around the country or around the world. They need to have something consistent, and I think Vince is looking at the wrong side of consistency by just saying, fuck it, we're not testing y'all anymore. Y'all can do it if you want, but we're not going to force y'all to do it.
Man, I just keep scrolling here and I can't find our conversation about it. We talk too much. Yeah, because I know there was a fourth one. I just don't remember who the fuck it was. I give up. Somebody in the live chat, let us know who the fourth one was. It was Seth, Becky, Big E, someone else.
Does the fact that Vince doesn't require testing anymore, does that deter you from going to a WWE event? Does it motivate you to go to a WWE event knowing that by hell or high water, talent that's advertised is going to be there?
It doesn't motivate me to go. Not the talent will be there. Like if I really like someone, and a good example is Big E. I really like Big E, and I find out Big E is not on the card. I mean, but he has COVID. Oh, okay, that's understandable. Like, I'm not going to be pissed because Big E isn't there because he had fucking COVID. I'm like, okay, he has a pass. I'm going to put on my big boy pants and not be a little whiny fucking bitch. Like, oh, I'm going to see Big E. Like, you let him have his time off. Because if you don't let him have his time off, you might not see Big E anymore in the future. Right? So, yeah, let Big E have his day off. Like,
there's at least 10 other stars on that show.
Exactly. Now, does it, what was the other half of that?
Does it keep you from going to the show?
Does it keep me from going to the show? No. This fact does not keep me from going to the show. Reason why is because I ain't going to the show in the first place. I haven't watched WWE and I don't know how long now. It's been a long fucking time. And I'm not planning on buying any tickets to go. They show up at the Toyota Center. I ain't going. Fuck, they were at the Toyota Center a little while ago.
October for Raw.
Yeah, October. And Arnold went, but the only reason why Arnold went was because he had bought tickets way earlier in the year or last year when he was still interested. When October came around, he's like, well, fuck, I guess I gotta go.
I'm gonna be on TV.
Yeah.
Because I'm a mark.
And he went, but he was like, yeah, that sucked. So am I spending my hard-earned money to go? No, I'm not. But it's not because of the COVID things and whether Vince said test or don't test. No, it's because I don't give a shit about the product.
We'll be previewing day one tonight, by the way.
Yeah. Dude, I haven't watched WWE in so long. And I'm not motivated. Like, normally, in the past, we've been doing this since 2012, right? Normally, in the past, if I miss a show, like if I missed a SmackDown or I missed a ROH or a TNA or whatever here in between, whenever we were actually covering that stuff, I would have been like, damn, I feel like shit. I didn't watch this. I'm letting my guys down and letting the audience down. Man, I needed to look at spoilers. I need to fucking cram. I'll show up at Travis's house early. Like, yo, man, can you please put on 15 minutes of Raw that I missed? I don't give a flying fuck right now about me missing Raw or SmackDown. I don't care. And it's because I just think it's irrelevant. At least in my fandom, my viewing. Like the dirt sheets and the people saying stupid shit on like social media and whatever, keeping up with the news with the Z. I'll look at that just so that I know kind of what's going on. But the day-to-day storylines, like I haven't been interested enough, and there hasn't been enough buzz about what's going on to pull me back in.
Does it hurt or help WWE's cause that they want to go the reality route by using the fact that they've laid off so many wrestlers in the past year, vocally saying it on WWE programming on Monday Night Raw in a storyline?
Okay, you're going to need to give me a little bit more context. What happened?
So,
'Cause I don't know.
there was a backstage promo with Vince McMahon and Austin Theory because he's coaching up Austin Theory, and he said that nothing makes me happier than letting go of all these superstars that we've shed a dead weight or whatever in the past year or whatever.
I saw something about that on the news sites with the Z, but I didn't know exactly what the context was. So he was talking to Austin Theory, and Austin Theory asked him something, and he told Austin Theory, "I'm happy to let go of people."
Yeah.
Storyline wise, okay. I mean, it seems stupid and tone deaf to actually say all that, even if it's a story. But whatever, you're a heel, lean into your heelness. Okay, great. It's still not enough to make me interested.
Does it hurt or help that Tony Storm's gone?
All right. First off, what's up, Arnold? Arnold's in the live chat.
Yo, what's up, man?
He says, "Where's the mic? You're low AF." Well, turn it up. No, we're not using the snowball because, well, you haven't been here, Arnold. Chris got himself a new computer, and the computer makes it to where we don't lose signal, which is great. But it's not compatible with our own microphone, which, but the microphone on the camera is what's actually picking us up, which is cool. But yeah, it's going to sound a little low. So turn it up.
Or maybe you're still sick.
Oh, he always sick. He's sick and thick. Okay. What was the question?
Scale of 1 to 10. How big of a loss to the women's division is Tony Storm?
For WWE?
Yeah.
From WWE standpoint, 3.
Why so low?
WWE wouldn't know what to do with her. They didn't know what to do with her, and they don't give a flying fuck about a Tony Storm, and they're gonna be A-okay without a Tony Storm. Without Tony Storm, okay, what? They still have Charlotte. They still have Becky when she's not COVID. They still have Bianca. They still have Sasha. They'll be all right. Now, that's from the perspective of WWE. The perspective as a fan. I had a bit of an epiphany.
Uh-oh.
So, when I saw that news, first thing I did was send it to you and to Arnold and to Hector. At work, sitting on the toilet.
Nuance. That's free.
That's extra detail there for you. So,
Did it have nuts in it or corn?
I don't know. I didn't grab my shit out of the toilet and examine it.
You never look before you flush?
I just
There
flushed.
could be some stones in there.
I mean, well, gold doubloons. JoJo said I personally forgot about Tony Storm.
Dang! You must not be watching SmackDown then. The better of the two shows.
I had an epiphany.
Which is?
The epiphany is this. I went back and I recalled, as I was sitting there on the toilet reading the news about Tony Storm, I recalled that I was sitting in the same spot when I found out about Braun Strowman. I was sitting in the same spot when I found out about The Fiend. My reaction, Braun Strowman and The Fiend, was, oh, what the fuck? This sucks. I feel bad for these guys because they've lost their livelihood, and I feel bad for me as a fan because I'm not going to get to see them on what I consider the pinnacle of professional wrestling. And it sucks for the IWC because now they're not going to be entertained by their favorite wrestler, and it's going to take some time, 90-day no compete, whatever, for them to go to a lesser promotion, and they may not even get to see it, right? When they go to Impact, not as many people watch Impact for various reasons. Same thing, ROH, and now especially for ROH, and like the only hope is AEW, but AEW is kind of getting a little overcrowded. So I'm like, man, damn, this sucks. I didn't have the same feeling with Tony Storm because after all the layoffs throughout the year,
Jaded.
No, I realized this is a good thing. My feeling was, fuck yeah, good for Tony Storm. Now she could actually go make a name for herself. Now she could go somewhere where she might actually be used properly and showcased. And back in the day, half a year ago, back in the day, I would have been like, damn, they're losing their main revenue source of income. No, fuck that. Right now, you can make money as a wrestler. You don't have to be in the E. You could go to Japan. You could go to fucking Mexico. You could go to AEW. You could run the independent circuit. You could get a fucking Twitch. You could start doing other merch, selling shit on Pro Wrestling Tees. There's so much that you could do to make revenue that it's not like, oh, Dios mío, no va a ganar dinero. Poor guy, he's broke now just because you left the E. No, that's not the case. I mean, are you making less money in some instances? Yeah, probably still in the vast majority. But you know what else helped me to reach this epiphany? A few days before, I saw on Facebook, and one of my friends, I don't remember who, posted a interesting question and said, would you take a salary of $120,000 per year, but you'd have to work 60-hour work weeks and you get 2 weeks of vacation per year? Or would you take a job with a salary of $80,000 per year, and you do 40-hour work weeks and you get 4 weeks of vacation per year? My answer was option number 2. The vast majority of people in that fucking comment thread was option number 2. So yeah, you may not be filthy fucking stinking rich, leaving WWE. You could be at the $120,000 per year, but if you're going out and you leave and you're doing something that you love, you have more time off, you're not banging up your fucking body. If you're making $80,000, okay, yeah, you're losing $40,000. That's a lot of money, but still, your head is above water. You're paying your bills. You're enjoying your life. You're living the life that you want, and you're doing your fucking dream. So that is why I'm like, fuck yeah, go Tony Storm. Hell yeah, I'm excited for you. I can't wait to see where you end up.
Where do you have her ending up?
I don't give a shit.
I think it's hard to juggle because you want them to flourish wherever. But right now, wherever is always AEW. That's the first thought in everybody's mind because Tony Khan can do this, Tony Khan can write that, Tony Khan can make this, Tony Khan can pair that. And damn, like it just, you don't want that stigma because there's been that stigma before. Oh, then Steve Austin, all that stuff, even though you don't think this. Remember, Steve Austin was in WCW. You don't remember that Kevin Nash was WWE before he went to WCW and did his shit, that Attitude Era, Stone Cold, Undertaker was in WCW, Mankind was in WCW, Triple H was in WCW, so you can rebrand yourself. But
and I mean, then again, for every one of those that you named off, those 4 or 5, you're going to have one Bret Hart. Bret Hart went to WCW and was a fucking failure in WCW. One of the greatest of all time in WWF. Went to WCW, they fucking fumbled the ball, So, yeah, I understand.
They popped the ball.
Yeah.
I thought he fumbles an understatement.
I understand that AEW is flirting with that line of having too many of the former WWE talent. They're flirting that line with just being overcrowded and oversaturated. This is why I'm so glad that Malachi Black is now focusing on the fucking Varsity Blondes, and also why I'm happy that we're having this Daniel Bryan versus Cowboy shit. I didn't want to see. Okay, I do want to see Bryan versus Punk at some point, right? But damn, if it was just Bryan and Punk, and then Bryan Punk O'Reilly. Bryan Punk, O'Reilly, and Cole, and it's like all the XWE guys are playing together, and it's like, okay, what we feared maybe 6 months ago is coming true.
Yeah.
But no, they're trying to mix it up with the Pillars, trying to mix it up with the younger guys, the homegrown. And that's what I need to do, and I don't think Tony needs to start hiring more, with the exception of maybe in the women's division. The women's division can get beefed up a little bit more, especially now that you're going to have 2 belts. So Tony Storm going to AEW, I wouldn't mind. But if you take Tony Storm, and if Bianca somehow gets released, and you throw Bianca Belair in there, and you get, Cora Jade, and you get, fucking other people that just don't make it, I'm just throwing names out,
Raquel Gonzalez.
Yeah. Raquel Gonzalez, yeah, whoever.
Yeah.
And then you start throwing them into AEW's women division, they'll be like, what happened to Serena Deeb? What happened to Hikaru Shida? What happened to Riho? What happened to the
Abaddon?
And even right now, Abaddon's nowhere to be found.
On telly.
Yeah.
You go to YouTube Dark, and you go to the darkest part of YouTube Dark, and that's where you get it.
That's where she belongs.
Mm-hmm.
And ask me that in a good way.
One word to describe the undisputed debut last night on Dynamite. Take your time. We don't get paid by the hour.
I know we don't. Chilling. Chilling. In a good way. Not like I'm scared, but like I got goosebumps. Especially since I love this tease that they're doing with the Bucks. And they took it a step further where Cole was saying, we're great. We could all be great together. And then Matt and Nick were like, this dude hasn't even given us eye contact. I was like, all right, what's up? And it's like, oh, there's a little bit of tension, but Cole's trying to, but then the others go away. And then it's like, me and you were cool, but we were not cool. Remember? Oh, shit. And that was there. We're here. I'm willing to start over if you're willing to start over. But if you become a bitch, I'm going to be a bitch back. And I'm like, oh, yeah. So there's tension between the two of them. He's trying to like get all of them together. So there's tension between them and the others. And it's like, woo.
And then the main event.
Yeah. Oh, that was lovely.
It's been thrown around a lot, but I think after having the conversation we just had for the past like 15 minutes, I think my compound word I would use is tide turning. I think this is gonna, at this point, if a wrestling fan, whether casual or hardcore, doesn't grasp the concept that Tony Khan is writing television for fans, not writing television for himself, that he's willing to sign the people that he thinks will fit in with whatever plan Tony Khan has. Look at all the people that he's brought in so far. He hasn't brought everybody. And hopefully it stays that way because, again, just like you mentioned earlier, at some point, the oversaturation of ex-WWE talent, especially if their first words are fuck WWE instead of just changing their game up or doing something different or coming from another angle.
Yeah.
But right now, I don't think it's there yet.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I wanted to see Kyle O'Reilly succeed as a singles wrestler, but it feels fresh in the sense that they didn't bring back a 3-man team. They brought back they reunited Red Dragon. And Red Dragon in the tag division.
Yeah. With
the
Bucks, FTR,
Santana and Ortiz,
yeah.
Lucha Bros.
Oh.
I'm going to throw this one last tidbit out there. There's still a possibility the Briscoes are signing with AEW as Ring of Honor tag champions.
Yeah.
That's a fucking division, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm saying it now. All Out this year will be, again, the return of the Hardys.
Oh, you're calling your shot?
So you throw Matt and Jeff in that cauldron with those teams.
I'm torn on that. I'm torn on what you just said. Because on the one hand, that sounds like you could have a lot of dream matches coming out of there. Hardys versus XYZ. But on the other hand, I'm kind of digging Matt being not necessarily a manager, but the head of the Hardy family office.
Kind of.
Yeah, whatever he is. And I want him to solely transition to solely that. Like, I don't want to see him wrestling anymore. Jeff, I don't want to see wrestling at all, period. Like, no slowly about it. Like, I'm done with Jeff Hardy. I'm done.
You're giving him the Undertaker treatment.
Yeah, I'm done.
Dang.
Heave ho. Like, no. And then that's another ex-WWE guy that you're bringing in AEW.
So that's going to overflow. In your opinion, it'll overflow.
In my opinion, for him. Again, you got to pick and choose, man. Like, if Gargano showed up, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. Because I don't think Gargano is on the downward side of the curve of his career, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Hardy is just going to be a name, and he could still go-ish, but he's not bringing anything that you haven't already seen from him before. And there's a lot of downside while there is some upside, right? The downside is, well, everything he's done in TNA that got him out of there. Everything he's done in WWE that got him out of there multiple times. You know, you got to take the bad with the good with him. And I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze, so to speak, when it comes to Jeff Hardy.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't want to see him there. You get Gargano in there. Gargano still has a lot of years left on him. He could fit in with the style with all the people that you have in there now and put on some fucking bangers. And he's not a problematic dude. So, yeah, you got to pick and choose, man.
The thing with Gargano,
Mm-hmm.
you wonder, he goes to AEW. Is he still in the top? Is he in the top 10 of the roster of AEW?
Maybe not.
He returns to NXT after fatherhood. Is he in the top 10 roster of NXT?
Probably, yeah.
If Vince or Kevin Dunn or some producer or Bruce Pritchard or some producer looks back at the last 6 months of NXT television and sees the story unfolding with Index and the family whole dynamic with Austin Theory, and discovers that Johnny Gargano's actually got some comedic timing and is actually a great character, can be a character, not just, oh, I'm Johnny Gargano, all I do is wrestle. He can actually play a character.
Yeah.
Would you see him somewhere in the top 10-ish, either on Raw or SmackDown?
I mean, maybe, but if
reunite him with Theory, maybe the storyline is Vince is not the right person for Austin Theory to take advice from, and we get Johnny versus the McMahon family or something.
Maybe, and I would hope so, because while I am very anti WWE right now, I'm never. If you've been a long time watcher of this show, you know that if the product is good, I'll watch it and I'll tune in and I'll change my fucking tune, right? Because I was like that for TNA for the longest. TNA is great. TNA is the best. TNA is the fucking WWE, you know. They're beating WWE's ass. I don't like WWE. I like TNA. And then TNA started to suck. And WWE started to get better. I started watching WWE again. And I was like, yeah, TNA sucks. And then, like, at one point there, it was, like, all about ROH. Man, ROH is the best. You know, but then ROH started to slip a little. And then all of a sudden, TNA became Impact, and Impact got good, and it gave it a little bit of its props, but it wasn't enough widespread recognition. And even the same thing with Japan. Japan is good when you want a nugget of really, really good wrestling. Lucha Underground. Yeah, Lucha Underground too, man. When Lucha Underground was good, it was fucking good, and I admitted it. So I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, he's just a WWE basher. It's like, no.
You might be anti-WWE, but you'll never be ex-WWE.
Right. I'm anti-WWE right now because it's bad.
But it's been in your life forever. It almost feels like family. You're never going to leave it.
Yeah. If it gets good, I'll be like, okay, it gets good. Can it get good with Gargano? Maybe. Will that be the thing that turns me around? Maybe. You put enough fucking time and effort into building Big E as like a legitimate star where little kids...
With a solidified storyline.
Where little kids are talking to their grandma and they're like, I'm watching wrestling, grandma. Oh, you're watching Big E? Like how back in my day, oh, I'm watching wrestling, grandma. Oh, you're watching Hulk Hogan?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm playing video games. Oh, that's a Nintendo.
Yeah.
Fucking video games was Nintendo for fucking 20 years. You're fucking playing PlayStation and your grandma's like, oh, that's a Nintendo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if you could get Big E to that level, if you could get Gargano somewhere around that level, I don't think he'll ever be that level. But, you know, if the things that I like are at the forefront, then yeah, I'll come back around.
Got you.
And that ain't happening right now with Roman for me. And I get it. The stuff with Roman's good. And I've been wanting to say forever, I want to like Roman.
And we are right now.
And yeah, but Roman isn't enough for me to tune into the fucking product. Because Roman, 15 minutes on SmackDown, Ike. And there's 2 hours. So that's an hour and 45 minutes of SmackDown that's left that I don't give a shit about.
Knock hasn't defended the Intercontinental title in months.
Yeah. Kevin Owens seems to have been phoning it in forever, but then he's like gets re-signed, and I guess
Now he's on
push.
Raw. Yeah.
But I don't trust this push because that push is the Ziggler push. Ziggler threatens to leave. He might go away. His contract up. No, let's give you a title run.
Give you a payday.
Yeah, and then once that's done, you don't have to worry about Ziggler until his contract comes up again in 4 years.
It's not even the Ziggler push anymore. Now that we've gone through 18 months of, damn, we can't invest in anybody anymore because they can be cut the next fucking day.
Yeah.
There's people in AEW that've been there. They're still there. They ain't going nowhere. They're given the opportunity to either sink or swim, and a lot of people are floating above water. So
yeah,
it's I know exactly what you mean. So with that,
yeah,
day one.
What's up, Daniel? Welcome to the live chat.
Let's run through this because you probably won't have a lot to give, but we'll try anyway.
I mean, I'm sure you have opinions, right?
Well, I'm trying to find some.
Okay.
Roman versus Brock again for the Universal title. Sigh. That's your number.
All right.
Or you're having trouble breathing. Do I need to get a rapid test for you?
No. As somebody that hasn't watched in damn near 4 months, I haven't witnessed the return of face Brock. All right. And I understand that the IWC is saying that they like the new Brock Lesnar.
Farmer Brock.
To them, I say you're a sucker. Because what was it? A year ago, 2 years ago, you were all about, God damn, fucking Brock Lesnar. Can't believe it. Well, he's a part-timer, just come back, wrestles 4 times a year, and then you're going to go into... He's the same thing, except he fucking cuts his hair and puts on fucking overalls, and now you love him? No.
And
what?
He's starting to cut his own promos.
Ah, fuck that.
When was the last time you saw Brock Lesnar speak on a microphone before this last run?
Too soon?
We told our truth. That's what's up.
Okay.
This isn't a babyface Roman. This is a babyface Brock. This is a beast Brock. Okay. That somehow you like pulled the thorn out of the tiger's paw, and now the tiger's got your back. So having Brock do these awkward segments with Sami Zayn of all people, telling him about, oh man, we need to go to Saskatchewan and hunt together and kill and eat. There's just the segments in the back with fucking scrap iron where you're trying to show him pictures and it's an old ass flip phone. He breaks the flip phone. You just see the stuff with Brock might not be a lot, but what's helping is everything around Brock.
Okay.
Sammy's selling. Scrap iron's actually like the dialogue between the two. Roman just chunking Usos left and right. Yeet, yeet, done. And then killing Roman. So it's obvious Roman's winning this.
Okay.
I'm at a 7. I don't know what they're going to do. It's advertised as another regular wrestling match, so I don't know what they're going to give me that I haven't seen the last 6 or 7 times they've wrestled, regardless of who's playing the good guy and who's playing the bad guy. Yeah. And I got Roman winning this.
Okay, cool.
But the clips that I see on YouTube and on Facebook, whenever I'm scrolling, I was like, oh, damn. All right, I'll give it a shot. I won't walk. I won't. It's not my bathroom break.
Daniel says Sami Zayn's going to cost Lesnar the match.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this Sami Zayn's Ziggler push? Hey, you re-signed with the company, so we're going to give you main event.
We're giving you time with Brock.
Yeah.
And you're going to get killed by Brock in the Royal Rumble.
Okay, now we don't have to worry about him for another 4 years until the contract is up. Yeah.
Or unless we got a budget cut.
So I don't have faith in this Sami Zayn push. I don't have faith in the new Kevin Owens push. And I've never had faith in Brock push. Because, okay, some of the stuff you said sounds pretty entertaining. It really does. I'm not going to lie. But to me, at the end of the day, between the bells, it's the same old Brock. So, hey, same old fucking part-timer.
Do you have faith in Big E's run?
I want to have faith in Big E's run.
What's missing?
WWE's faith in Big E.
Ooh. They give him the belt. He's on commercials.
Yeah.
He's main eventing.
Yeah.
He's on the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
How much more faith? What define faith for faith for faith?
Yeah. CM Punk had the belt for a record 340 some odd days. 343.
430.
430. Yeah.
Yeah, 434.
434, not 343. Right.
Yeah.
Right. He sat down. He cut that promo. He said, "I'm not in the brochure. I'm not on the cups. I'm not on the fucking billboard. They don't sign me to go on to fucking Good Morning America.
Ooh.
I have the belt,
Ooh.
but I don't have the belt." That's for John Cena. What I hate is that this idea that they think you're the guy. I'm the champ, but you're not treating me like I'm the champ. Big E is the champ, but they ain't treating him like the champ.
Wow.
The champ is Roman.
Wow.
That's the problem with having two fucking belts. You're gonna have the real belt and the belt, and that's what Big E has right now.
Damn.
Big E has the belt, but it ain't really the belt, brother. No, big and this is his first go. Look at the Miz. The Miz had one badass fucking title run. And then because he had one pay-per-view that had a low buy rate because they put him and fucking R-Truth together, they lost faith in him for fucking 5 years. And then 5 years later, oh, you know what? He might actually be pretty good on the mic. Let's give him a fucking reality TV show. He hasn't fucking even sniffed the goddamn belt, whether the real belt or the fake belt.
Did you already forget that The Miz was WWE champion in 2021?
Yes, I did. But you know why?
Boom!
You know why? Because it didn't matter that he was the fucking champ in 2021. He was the champ in 2021 for a fucking cup of coffee. That was a pity, like, oh yeah, we haven't given this guy a championship in a while. There's a difference between runs like that, runs that Kane had for one fucking day.
Mysterio for a week before dropping it back to Cena.
There's a difference between that and the run that Stone Cold had, the run The Rock had, the run that John Cena had. There's differences, bro. Differences.
Wow.
Tell me I'm wrong.
I can't. I've actually, now that you mention it, there's not a flaw in your argument whatsoever. So I will just go forth with the match. As of now, COVID be damned. Fatal 4-Way. Big E. Seth Rollins. Kevin Owens. Bobby Lashley. Give me a number.
6.
You have 3 top-tier opponents for Big E. Why is it a 6?
Because I haven't been watching and I don't know what the story is. On paper, it sounds like it's pretty good, but my faith in WWE is so low that unless you sway me by telling me what I missed, and if it sounds really cool, I'll be like, oh, cool. But even then, even if to sway me, it's not going to take the build for one pay-per-view. To sway me, it's going to take the build of like fucking 5 pay-per-views. Where it's like, dude, you got to fucking watch this. Dude, this is fucking badass. Dude, the same shit that had to sway me to pay attention to the fucking Bullet Club. I was a late adopter when it came to the Bullet Club. And there was a little bit of buzz. Some people were talking about it. I was like, yeah, that's those fucking New Japan marks. Fucking Hector. You know? But then the buzz didn't die down. And it started spreading. And I was like, you know, then we got to take a look at this. I was like 3 fucking leaders of the Bullet Club in when I finally got into the Bullet Club. But then when I got into it, I was like, oh, Prince Devitt. Okay, yeah, I need to go back and look at his shit. All right, yeah, that's cool. Oh, who was this other guy? Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, AJ was. Oh, yeah, that's cool. That's
Omega Okada 1.
Yeah, okay. Let me check that out.
And then Omega Okada 2.
That's the kind of shit that's going to take for WWE to get my faith up, where even if you have something as badass sounding as that on paper, I'm not going to believe that it's going to be worth a hill of beans, because either they're going to water down the fucking wrestling in the match, which they already do for most of those guys.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley's run isn't anywhere near like what I thought it was going to be when he came from Impact over to WWE. The potential that he had, because goddamn,
he had the belt for months, bro.
But his title run in Impact was way better than his title run in WWE, because they allowed him to do more shit. He was showcased more, and he didn't have that fucking frou-frou bullshit storyline.
You didn't like Hurt Business?
I liked Hurt Business, but I always felt like they didn't let him completely off of the leash, man. And then they
Hurt Business,
and then they fucked it up when they let the other 2 go. When they let Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander go. Like, what? You had something good and you fucked it up. This is where I am with WWE, man. Anything that seems like it's good, I don't have faith that it's going to continue to be good or get better. Like if you like, I would think that the peaks and valleys would go like that, right? Mm-hmm. To me, WWE, the peaks and valleys are like this, where you take the average and it's all fucking flatline. It's not an upward trajectory when you do the average between the peaks and the valleys. It's like here for WWE, for me.
You know, the Lyft drivers, and I bring math to the table?
Yes.
Damn.
And I'm not a Lyft driver.
Anymore.
I was never a Lyft driver. I was an Uber driver.
I'm at a 5. There's a lot of talent in this match, but I feel like I'm
yes, Daniel, the headband hid his alopecia. The headband is what made you know that he actually, might have eyebrows. And he takes off the headband. It's like, what the fuck? Where did that dude's eyebrows go?
I just figured it was like a bikini wax. You just want everything to be the same color. So
you just want to see
like you shaved that. Yeah.
That's it. Just took it off. Yeah, it was gone.
I think the Big E run's falling flat for me because he hasn't had his defining rivalry yet that defines him as a champion. Mm-hmm. Cena had Orton. Steve Austin had fucking The Rock.
The Rock had Steve Austin.
The Rock had Steve Austin. Undertaker had Mankind. There's always a rivalry that defines you as a wrestler.
Yeah.
And I think a part of me thinks that this is too soon in Big E's singles run to have this title.
Okay.
I think if he would have cashed in Money in the Bank next year with about 18 months of WWE back in front of humanoids, maybe this would be going a lot better than it is right here, right now. Contract situations or injuries or COVID be damned, they should have just picked one person. Or if you're going to go balls out, this is probably going to be the reoccurring theme of the night. Day one is the stupidest pay-per-view name I've ever heard. New Year's Revolution was right there. If you want to do this match, fuck it. Bring the Elimination Chamber. Get 2 other guys. At least have them qualify. And actually, oh, dude, Big E's a bad motherfucker. He beat 5 of these fools. Like, let me give him another chance. Let me give him some more time. Let me invest a little bit of myself into this guy because he's earned it. He deserves it. And he struggled from FC fucking W, and now he's the goddamn champion. And he blasted against 5 people in Satan's playground. Yeah, let me give him a shot. This is like half-assed to me. Either one defined person that Big E hates, or a whole fucking carnival of chaos for you to go in through the walkout through. This doesn't cut it to me.
And you know what? I'm gonna say this. The person that could be that rival for him,
I hope it's who I'm thinking.
It's Roman.
Oh, damn it, Bobby. It's not who I was thinking.
New Day versus Usos. It's always been 3-on-2. But now the Usos has the head of the table. Right? And I'm not talking about just the angle that you're going to run for a pay-per-view. I'm talking about this is your Rock Austin. This is your Sean Brett. This is like spanning fucking multiple years of encounters, weaving in and out. They always find each other, right? Man, that could be it. That could be it. Not keep them separated. One's going to have one belt. One's going to have the consolation prize belt. Nah. Have it over the fucking big belt, or one comes to the other brand and they fight over that belt, and then they separate, and then I get it. You might at one point have like fucking Charlotte Becky kind of syndrome there, where it's like too much, but that's probably because there's just too much programming in WWE. But you have the history there with the bloodline and the family, and it's still fresh enough because you haven't seen Roman versus New Day as much, but you're seeing Usos versus New Day, and there's that family tie there, so it makes sense. Man, that if you could make if they still made fucking DVDs, right? If by the end of 2023 they have greatest rivalries of the 2020s, it should showcase Roman versus Big E.
They look damn good in Survivor Series against each other. Give me more of that. The person I was thinking to be the defining role relies on a lot of trust of other people that have shown the track record that it can't be done. But again, I might be anti-WWE, but just as well, I'm never going to be ex-WWE because my fondest memories of wrestling, I didn't grow up wanting to wrestle at fucking All Out. I didn't grow up to wrestle a fucking Final Battle.
Yeah.
I went to Booker T's training camp because I wanted to be on Wrestlemania.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's a story that can be made that can tell an art that can give an arch rival to somebody like Big E, that can really get people's attention, that gets you salivating, like Roman and Jay did when Roman first turned heel. And Jay's trying to be like, yo, man, this isn't the way the Usos run. This isn't Us. Big E versus a heel, Xavier Woods. It's all, Kofi had his moment. Kofi had his moment. He's on posters. He's got the title. Big E got Money in the Bank. He got his moment. He's cashing in. He's on main eventing all these pay-per-views. I dreamed of being King of the Ring. Why? Because King of the Ring winners became champions. Steve Austin, Edge, Kurt Angle, Triple H, and I'm sitting here with a plastic crown and a plastic scepter, middling because everyone's still looking at Big E like the best person in fucking New Day. No, you turn Xavier heel with that promo and actually go back and forth, and he takes the belt for a month or two, and then Big E scraps to get it back because Xavier knows Big E like the back of his hand. They were New Day. They came up together. And Kofi's right smack dab in the middle. And Xavier takes Kofi out to make sure it's just one-on-one. I'm better. I know your flaws. I'm the gamer. I have the cheat code to knock you out. Xavier and fucking Big E. That will get you. Look at you. You're about to bust a nut, ain't you? Ain't you? Sign me.
If you've been a long time viewer of this show, you know that I've sat in this chair plenty of times, and I said, I never want the New Day to break up. Ever, ever, ever. They could split. They could go their different ways.
Which they have.
And it's worked out just how I've wanted it to, but I never want them to fight each other. I never want them to feud with each other. I want them to stay friends for the eternity of their career. But what you just said, man.
Thank you.
What you just said might make a little bit of a hypocrite out of me because that sounded fucking fire. If we could get that kind of passion out of Woods, and then Woods and E can back it up in the ring for a multiple
6 months.
Yeah.
Even if Big E overcomes, but Woods had to run for 2 months, and he got a taste of the pie, and he got the recognition, he got the adulation. You've been missing out on SmackDown when Big E first became King of the Ring and Xavier Woods. And Woods was feuding with Roman. The facial expressions, the selling when Roman broke the scepter and broke the crown in front of him, and every other week that bloodline was jumping Xavier. Dude, that motherfucker can sell the story of him being the evil, maniacal villain to Big E. The Akuma to Ryu.
All right.
That could be Big E. That could be Xavier.
Daniel says, man, if Chris gets any more hyped about this, he's going to have a stroke.
Oh, yeah. I honestly don't see Rollins, Owens, or Lashley going to Royal Rumble with the belt.
All right.
I've got Big E. And that's the other thing with a lot of these multi-man matches. It makes it easy for the other people to just take each other out, and Big E crawls in and gets scraps. Yeah. I got Big E winning this.
Yeah.
It's a very little fanfare.
Okay. Yeah.
Becky Lynch against Liv Morgan for the Ross trap for the women.
7. Again, the caveat is I haven't been watching, but before I stopped watching, I was very hopeful that Liv would do something, that they would give some sort of program to Liv, and that they would really kind of showcase her.
This is technically the rematch from Monday Night Raw.
And they've been doing it from what I hear.
Mm-hmm.
I see online in the IWC more and more buzz for Liv, which is cool. I'm glad that they're doing that.
The best buzz is I don't know why.
I haven't seen it firsthand, but
Anybody in
Yeah.
the chat, tell us what it is about Liv Morgan that gets you going.
I mean, is it just that she's fine?
Half that roster's fine.
Yeah,
In
I
their
mean,
own way.
I don't know, but maybe it's because she's somebody new. I mean, we've seen the four horsewomen for so long that Becky versus Charlotte is just like, ugh. Charlotte versus Sasha, ugh. Bailey versus Sasha, ugh. Becky versus Bailey, ugh. You know, so it's like
New blood.
You throw in Bianca and people got very excited for Bianca for a little bit, but then
But the Royal Rumble win backed it up.
yeah,
Mania win, title run backed it up.
but then it feels like that they kind of went back on their decision to really push Bianca. Kind of the same thing with Asuka. Actually, Asuka is kind of like Asuka versus Charlotte. Blech. You know?
Asuka versus Becky?
Okay, maybe. But
Asuka versus Bianca?
But do they have the faith in Asuka? So I think there's more hope for the future of throwing some more new blood in there, and that new blood could be Liv. And if we get Liv versus Becky, okay. Liv versus Charlotte, okay. Liv versus Bianca, oh, okay.
Liv versus Doudrop.
Liv versus fucking Naomi, you know, who like all of it is new and fresh. And like, man,
has Liv Natty happened since she started coming up?
I mean, I'm sure all these matches that we just spouted off have happened at some point, but maybe with like the old Liv, Riot Squad Liv, where the stakes were for nothing. But like, there's always a difference of when like you actually start investing in the character and you're putting the spotlight on them, and it's not just they are the mechanism of the 50-50 booking. It's for them. There's a difference, right? So we may have seen all those matches that we just listed off, but it's going to feel new. It's going to feel fresh because it's for something with the new Liv Morgan where we're trying to give her a push. You know?
And the crowd's behind her.
Exactly.
Yeah. The match on Raw was pretty good. I kind of was maniacally surprised that they kept the belt on Becky. Whether this weekend's Liv's time to shine, it wouldn't.
Wait, Becky, isn't she one of the ones that's out for COVID?
Yeah.
So is she even going to make it?
Right. That's Vince's decision.
Well,
assuming this happens, I'm at a 7. And I want Liv to win this, but again, if a loss, if she comes out good in a loss that we get a third time around at the Rumble, I'm with it too.
So you kind of said this like as though it meant nothing, like, oh, that's Vince's decision. Does she have COVID? Because if she has COVID and she's sick,
there's COVID precaution. That's why some of these people.
Okay, because that's what my question was. Was she exposed and she could have it? Or is she fucking in an iron lung? You know?
Yeah. Well, it helps. Well, they already had it wrong. I was thinking about the other brand. Where you got the match at?
I think I said 7, didn't I?
Who you got winning?
I would like for it to be Liv.
Okay.
Why not?
How about? Oh shit! I don't know who Charlotte Flair's wrestling. I thought it was Toni Storm. They changed that, obviously. So let's go down the line. Raw Tag Team titles. The Street Profits get a shot at RK Bro.
Really?
Yeah.
RK Bros are champs?
Yeah.
Oh.
Still.
On paper, that sounds cool. 6.
Who y'all win?
RK Bro.
All right. Same. 6. RK Bro.
All right. These fucking gummy bears, man. What the hell? Why did you bring those?
Usos against the New Day for the SmackDown tag team titles. Does that sound familiar? Usos versus the New Day for the tag team title?
5.
Is the King of the Ring winner worthy of such minimal splendor that he's stuck with just the titles of 2 instead of the title of 1? 5. This is a match of the year candidate in Hell in a Cell 2 years ago. And we're getting it again in 2021, technically 2022.
Okay,
I'm at 5.
All that shit that I said earlier about New Day versus Usos and Roman and how that could be the defining rivalry for Big E versus Roman.
Yeah.
All that shit that I said, there's a little bit of a caveat in there, and I mentioned it.
It's caveat?
Caveat. What I said in there, what I mentioned is that if it's done right, and if it's intertwining, interweaving.
Ooh,
And-
Daniel.
And I said that sometimes they're a victim of too many hours worth of programming, where Rock Austin lasted 6 years off of 3 WrestleMania matches. 6 years off of 3 WrestleMania matches.
Technically longer.
Yeah, technically even longer than that. 3 matches. 6 years. Usos versus New Day probably fought, what, 6 times
This year.
this year alone? You know?
Yeah.
And sometimes it was for steaks, sometimes it wasn't.
Maybe potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between just like overgrowing farming shit and like tending to and pruning and caring for something, you know? So yeah, it's like I care about Usos versus New Day on the grand scheme of things. I don't care about this match for Usos versus New Day.
5, Usos are keeping the belts.
Okay.
One shining moment from Raw that I caught was the last segment. Edge versus The Miz, one-on-one. Miz and Maurice renew their vows.
I heard about this.
With Eric Bischoff as the dictator.
Yeah.
And then right at the end,
Dictator?
yes, I forget what the word is. Edge comes out.
Efficient?
Edge comes out. And it's like,
Did Eric Bischoff have like a fucking silicone?
oh, if he would have teased that, oh.
Did somebody say 3 minutes?
Late time. Yeah. Edge gives them a brood bath. So they're all covered in black.
Not red.
Black.
Okay.
Because Edge's blood runs black now.
Ha.
Yeah.
And
Which I kinda like.
Yeah, you can't have blood on PG TV.
Yeah, that too. Give me a number for Edge versus Miz. This might be, I don't want to say it might be first time ever because they might have just had a throwaway match on SmackDown or something, but this might be the first actual match that those two have together.
6. It sounds cool.
You're a Miz guy.
I am a Miz guy.
And you're just
Yeah.
giving it a 6.
And I'm an Edge guy. Again, this might just be because I haven't been watching.
You're not invested. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Brood bath segment got me up to 7.
Okay.
I'm curious to see how Edge handles Miz because Miz, I mean, what I don't know if this is the right comment to make, but I think when Edge first came back and cut that promo on Raw, he was naming off people left and right that were different clash of styles to him.
Right.
But who's Edge been wrestling lately since he came back?
I don't know who.
Randy Orton,
Okay.
same kind of WWE type style.
Have we seen this for years?
Roman, same type
Main
WWE
event
style.
or WWE style.
Daniel Bryan, but that wasn't enough to actually make the opinion. Who did Edge wrestle at SummerSlam? Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins was interesting, but even that was a watered down Seth Rollins, not Tyler Black.
Right.
And now we're getting The Miz. More sports entertaining, less like actual pro wrestling.
I mean, isn't that going to be par for the course in WWE? I mean, who else even has a style that's not sports entertaining?
He mouthed off Matt Riddle in the opening promo. He mouthed off AJ Styles in the opening promo. He mouthed off, can't remember somebody else. But there's a lot of guys that are coming up from either the independents or from NXT that are showing up in WWE that are completely different to what Edge is used to. I will pay $40 to watch Edge versus Nakamura. Because that's way out there. I'll pay $40 for Edge Brock because the story in the match will be top shelf Edge. But it's against MMA Brock, not WWE Brock from when Edge was first around. It would be different.
Okay.
The opponents he's had so far have been very prototypical to me.
Okay.
And storytelling can only take you so far. Like you can build up a trip if you know that, even if you know that the trip's gonna suck. You know, like, oh man, there's a lot of cool shit in fucking Florida. You know what I mean? That's Edge's entire run right now since he came back from at the Royal Rumble that we were at. I had my heart anticipation on some out there stuff, and it hasn't gotten anywhere close.
That was January of 2020.
That was January 2020. Now we're January 22.
That was the last normal pay-per-view, Big Four pay-per-view that was good before the world went to shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna 7. If Edge is losing to anybody in any of these matches, and since his comeback, it's gonna be for something worthwhile. And I don't think Miz beating Edge is gonna take Miz any higher than he is right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely not gonna be with Miz. I got Edge winning.
It should. Man, you got to do something drastic. Something in WWE needs to have people go, what? Edge putting over to the Miz? That might be something. I might kickstart a new era of the Miz actually, getting that type of big fucking push. You
don't think it's too late after the pipe bomb from Daniel Bryan, even after Dancing with the Stars, even after Miz and Mrs.
Almost too late. It's almost too late. The way how it was almost too late for Ziggler. I keep referencing Ziggler a lot. It was almost too late for Ziggler for like 6 and 7 years. The last 3 years, it has been too late. And Miz is right there at that like year 4 or 5 range, where you could do it. You could do it. If you really put all your balls behind him, you might be able to get it. But that train's leaving the station and it's almost done left. I think it's close, but it's not yet on like Ziggler levels.
Define drastic. If we're gonna go on a tangent.
Okay.
Tell me something drastic WWE would do to try to shake things up again.
Have AJ win the title. AJ Styles beat Brock or beat Roman. Have AJ fucking win it. Hold on to it. Not bullshitting around with fucking almost or whatever. And like have him put on banger matches one after the other with like Finn, bring up Gargano, fucking like I don't know, Owens. Have Sami Zayn be a credible threat, a believable threat. Let them put on a fucking 10-star match. Something that's fucking wild and crazy. Where you give it to somebody that doesn't deserve it. You know what? Fuck it. Give Ricochet a shot at like upper mid-card titles. And put on clinics every night. Give him some mic time. Let him get himself over. Get rid of the pew at the beginning of his music.
Jewel 2 years ago, Brock defended the title against Ricochet.
Mm-hmm. And that didn't do anything because why? It was just a squash.
Yeah. Drastic, right off the top. Boom shakalaka and the brand split. You already narrowed down your roster. Just might as well just end the brand split. You want Big E versus Roman? That's how you do it. Title for title.
Yeah.
You want Edge and Miz to mean something? Brand supremacy. I know you hate doing that, but WrestleMania 21 is one of my favorite WrestleManias of all time, and not just because I went, but that's because that was probably one of the first WrestleManias, if not, I think 20 was the first one, or 19, where they really went balls deep on interpromotional matches. Matches that you would never think that Raw versus SmackDown would have. Holy shit, Undertaker versus Randy Orton. Holy shit, HBK from Raw against Kurt Angle from SmackDown. Money in the Bank with wrestlers from both brands. Yeah. You want to do drastic? All right, we're ending the brand split again. It makes Fox hella happy. It makes USA hella happy because they got all the roster at both their disposal.
So we have the forbidden door. But then in WWE, between Raw and SmackDown, I bet there's a little bit of a revolving door. How much has that revolving door been spinning over the last 3 or 4 months?
Enough.
Enough to where
they should just out and out say fuck it.
If that's the case, all that shit that you just said about wow, it'd be really special to see Kurt Angle versus HBK, one from Raw, one from SmackDown, doesn't mean jack shit if that revolving door has been spinning.
No, but there's a difference between the revolving door spinning and someone telling the general audience, hey, there's that revolving door. We're about to cut it. This isn't Super SmackDown. This isn't Raw Super Show. This isn't them openly admitting that we're having everybody on one brand for a couple of shows. Fuck it. Just come out and say it. Starting such and such, the brand split is done. And you'll get, and every person that buys a ticket to watch WWE is gonna get everybody. Big E, Roman, Seth, Edge, Riddle, Orton, Usos.
And treat those 2 hours or 3 hours in the case of Raw the same way AEW treats their 2 hours. Where it's bam, 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 bam. They have segments, but they're not having fucking recaps of what happened last week and then, a recap of the recap. And, hey, before the commercial break, this happened. Like, no.
More importantly, AEW in the last 4 weeks of Dynamite has had at least 12 different wrestlers main eventing the episodes. How many wrestlers are main eventing Raw and SmackDown?
4?
The same motherfuckers.
All right.
And with that, that's day one. This Saturday, New Year's night. They're looking for seat fillers for free.
Okay, not New Year's Eve. It's New Year's night. So on day one. Okay.
No, day one. Are you going to make the effort to watch any of this live?
No.
Are you going to make the effort to watch any of this later?
Probably not. Unless, like, oh my God, Abel, you need to watch this. This happened and this is crazy. Unless I get that, probably not. And I don't have faith that there's going to be oh my God, Abel. Yeah, I don't think that there's going to be a moment coming out of this that somebody's going to want to.
Oh my God, Abel!
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey caused Becky Lynch to lose the title.
Oh, God damn it. Fucking Ronda Rousey.
Daniel Garcia mentioned it earlier in the chat. What if Braun Breaker is the one that rival Big E on the main roster? And that's the rival that makes Big E a solidified champ for his run.
My interest would be piqued, but I won't be fully erect.
Half a blue chew.
You give me a little bit more, I get more people saying, hey, you need to eat the rest of that blue chew.
Okay.
Then,
so
maybe.
Kevin Owens debuted on NXT to John Cena's Open Challenge back in the day.
Back in the day.
I thought you meant
today
as NXT champ.
Okay.
Debuted.
Mm-hmm.
Beat John Cena in Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
First match.
Yeah.
What if
that was drastic?
What if New Year's Evil, Braun Breaker, as the NXT champion, the next night on Raw, shows up and beats Big E in his debut?
My interest would be piqued. That would be oh my God, Abel. Now, all right, let me check this out. And I'll look at it and I'll be like, oh shit. Okay. And then I might pay attention a little bit more. I might not tune into Raw the next week. I might tune into NXT. And it's still doing something though. Oh, okay. Because when Kevin Owens did do that, Kevin Owens had a little bit of a run where he had the belt and the NXT belt, and then he had an NXT title defense. He had to drop the belt. And then,
Japan in Japan with fanfare.
Yeah.
Why? Because Owens was on Raw showing that shit.
Yeah. So it mattered. But if this is Braun shows up, wins, and then it was a fluke, whatever, and then there's a quick little rematch the next week and lost, and okay. Then no. It depends, because there's been plenty of moments, and that's what WWE is all about. They've been saying it forever.
They want the 3 minutes on Facebook and Twitter.
They're about moments, but they're not about sustaining those moments. Again, I go back to our imaginary fucking line graph, where it's peak, but then valley, peak, and then valley. And those peaks and valleys aren't peaking valleying up. They're peaking valleying across. You giving me a lot of peaks here, but I'm afraid of the valleys.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So we have to start first with Braun taking the belt from Ciampa. Do you have Braun taking the belt from Ciampa on New Year's Evil?
Yeah.
Finally?
Yeah.
It's time?
No, but they're going to do it.
They're going to do it? Where you at, number-wise?
Yes.
Technically, the rubber match because Braun pinned Ciampa in the War Games, so they're 1-1. 6? And you've been watching NXT more than you have Raw or SmackDown.
Barely. I stopped.
We've had this quiz on what is it about the new NXT 2.0 that you like, and it wasn't a lot. I'm at an 8. I'm gonna keep saying it. I like everything about Braun Breaker except the name Braun Breaker.
That makes
Pay the
sense.
money and just call him a goddamn Steiner. Or maybe you're saving that for the main roster. Who knows?
Maybe.
But I think I've got Breaker winning this. It's kind of leading to a bigger storyline. If you want to indulge me for a second.
Yes, I will.
NXT 2.0, especially since War Games, they've been touting the fact that the new boys are in town. Old dogs got to die, out with the Mufasas and with the symbols, But there's one guy that by happenstance or circumstance, they haven't been able to take out. And one by one, this wrestler is going to take out all these rookies and take back his NXT title.
Mm-hmm.
I've got WrestleMania weekend, Braun Breaker against Samoa Joe. In order for that to happen, I need Breaker to take the belt off of Ciampa.
Okay.
And continue wiping out all these old timers. I'm at an 8 because I know the match is going to be good. They have chemistry.
Okay.
I like Ciampa and Breaker. I'm not sure if it's still the time for Breaker to take it. It wouldn't surprise me if like the new school helps Breaker to take it, or if Breaker just earns it on his own. But I've got Breaker winning this.
Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of old timers, the analogy I gave you earlier about Kevin Owens debuting on Raw.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, AJ Styles showed up on NXT.
I heard, yeah.
And he gonna show up again on NXT.
Yeah, I heard.
To confront Grayson Waller. You think they're gonna make a match out of this?
Um,
Grayson Waller was actually on Raw this past Monday in the crowd with a sign taunting AJ. What do you think of Grayson Waller, first impression or current impression?
So, I have absolutely no idea what a Grayson Waller is.
Aussie accent, boxes, and
like
trunks.
Like Duke Hudson?
No.
Okay. I haven't ever seen the guy. So
if I show you a picture of him, I'd be like, ugh, that guy. Yeah.
Okay. Like I have absolutely no idea who he is, and that is a complete byproduct of me not watching.
Okay. So we'll pass on that.
Okay. Well, do you have an opinion of that to tell the people?
There's something there. There's potential with the kid. He's annoying as fuck, but that's a reaction.
Okay.
When you're not getting a reaction, that's a bigger problem.
Yeah.
So as long as I hate him, as long as I want to punch his head off, he's doing whatever it is that he's supposed to be doing.
Okay.
So there's something there. He just either it needs to be fleshed out, or maybe this is the moment that puts Grayson. Grayson had the cool little spot in War Games where he jumped off the top of the cage and did like the double underleg elbow drop.
Okay.
Trying to do this like froggy bow on crack, but it looked good. I guess it pulled it off. There's something missing, but I see that there's a lot there.
Okay.
Do I want it at the expense of AJ Styles, a guy on the main roster that never even sniffed NXT? I'd rather see him do this against Finn.
Oh. Okay.
He took Gargano out in his farewell speech. But this would probably have more effect if it was him versus Finn, to be honest.
Okay.
Or maybe him versus fucking Brian Kendrick. Somebody that's a coach. He's a coach for NXT, but he's now he's back on the main roster and getting his ass beat by fucking.
He is?
Yeah.
Brian Kendrick is getting his ass beat on the main roster?
So he's back wrestling again.
What?
He's in the feud with Joe Gacy and Marlon or whatever his Marion or whatever that big dude's name is.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe you like this triple threat for the women: Mandy Rose, Raquel Gonzalez, and little Cora Jade.
Cool. That sounds good. I still have yet to see Cora Jade wrestle.
You didn't see War Games at all.
No.
Dude, when
I said I haven't watched any WWE product, I mean I haven't watched any WWE product. The last time I watched anything WWE was the second episode of 2.0. That was the last thing I saw.
Wow, October.
Southside
Slam.
And that was NXT. If you want to talk about main roster, go back another 2 weeks. I stopped main roster. I was like, I'm going to watch NXT only, and then NXT 2.0 happened. I gave it 2 episodes. 2 episodes, I was like, I'm done.
I am loving Mandy Rose as a heel with Toxic Attraction.
Yeah.
She pulls off a bitch very well. I'm at an 8 for this match because the story, most of this story is Raquel and Cora Jade, which is why Mandy's obviously winning this. She's gonna pick up the scraps, and we're gonna get the B level, the B program, which would be a heated Cora Jade and Raquel Gonzalez. I've got Mandy winning this, but this is gonna be fun. Mama Cool. I'm always down to see Mama Cool.
You know, I love triple threat matches. So yeah.
And who you got winning?
Mandy, I guess. I don't know.
Carmelo Hayes,
okay,
North American champ, against Roderick Strong, Cruiserweight champ. Title unification.
Yeah, I saw that somewhere on social media. Is that they're unifying those two titles? And I was like, first I said, why are they unifying the titles? The second thing I said was, they have the champions backwards. Wait, Roddy is the Cruiserweight champ and Carmelo is the North American champ? So that's got to be a typo. It's got to be the other way around. It has to be.
It is not.
It's not. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, that might be a good match on paper. You know how I feel about Roddy. I've never been a Roddy fan, and I thought that he benefited greatly from being in the Undisputed Era. But Roddy by himself or Roddy in the Diamond Mine, I don't know recently, but at the very beginning of the Diamond Mine, I was like, this sucks.
The last couple of weeks on NXT TV, they're actually letting Michael Bivens go. Okay. And him on the mic has been pretty fucking good.
Has it?
Yeah.
Because I know
making up for Roddy. Because Roddy on the mic.
Yeah, Roddy's never been.
He wasn't setting the microphones on fire with Undisputed, and that's for a reason.
Yeah, but Roddy has always been a charisma vacuum. But like he's great at throwing backbreakers. So yeah, that's what makes him interesting. He's interesting between the belts.
And his cardio is like a machine.
Yeah. Between the belts, he's interesting, but outside of that, he's never been interesting to me.
And you haven't had you had a little bit of exposure with Carmelo before NXT went 2.0.
A little bit, because he was in the tournament.
Yeah,
and he won the tournament.
He beat all the big guys.
Then he had what was it? What was the guy that was following around the bitch? What was his
Trick
name?
Williams.
The Trick. I thought it was the bitch. I'm sorry. It's
the
same thing.
It sounds like somebody in this room ain't about it.
I guess I'm not. The bitch, the Trick. I don't know. They're just.
I don't know where this number is coming from, but the first number I think of is 9.
9.
Roddy. I remember in the ring. Roddy is good.
Okay.
Carmelo, he's worked his weight in salt. Like these last couple of months, Carmelo's been stepping up.
All right.
I'm buying what he's selling. When he calls himself the A champ of that brand, I'm buying it.
Okay.
And so far with Trick is comic relief being that guy, it's working. They have something. It works. I like it. I'm at a 9. All right. The match is gonna be brutal. I think at this point,
you just shut that shit off.
I think at this point, Carmelo is already ready for either the main title run, not a feud, main title feud, or just fucking send his ass to the main roster already. He's there. The package, him and Trick, they're ready.
Okay.
And I think after you let go of Hit Row and you realize I'm gonna just say it, you need something else. You need something more for your people of color that watch WWE on the main television. And you see
here, demographics.
Yeah, it's different. Sometimes it is demographic. Sometimes when you go to Laredo, when you go to Mexico, you need to have some of those Mexicans on in your headline. And right now, I'm still not over Hit Row being gone. Hit Row had so much potential when they showed up on SmackDown, and then talking with Xavier Woods and Kofi, I was like, man, this is gonna be fun as shit. And they couldn't even get the ball rolling before they let him go for unsensical reasons, company-wise. So I think Carmelo and Trick would do good to fill that void that Hit Row left behind.
Okay.
So I've got Roddy winning this for sure. I've got Roddy winning this.
Now, when they say that they're unifying the belts,
I think the cruiserweight's gone and North American's gonna stick around because Roddy mentioned in the promo that he's gonna be 2-time North American champ.
Okay.
So they're keeping the North American belt.
So he's not gonna walk around holding both
I
titles
hope not.
and then defend one and then defend the other. It's like we're unifying the belts, and the belt design that we're staying with is the North American, and the cruiserweight's just gonna quietly go away.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would think so.
Is 205 Live still a thing?
I have no idea.
Okay.
None.
Okay.
This is gonna be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
6-man tag.
Okay.
You've been missing out on NXT.
Okay.
So I'm gonna fill you in, and anybody that's watching.
Mm-hmm.
MSK is down about losing the tag titles.
Oh.
So they went to go in search of a shaman
Okay.
to help them find their inner self.
Okay.
And after weeks of backstage and outside promos on television,
Mm-hmm.
they discover their leader, their spiritual chi, Matt Riddle. Because when you think about getting high, MSK, Matt Riddle, peanut butter and jelly. So
Okay.
they cut some promos.
So Matt Riddle's pulling double duty?
Yeah.
Okay.
Duty. So MSK wants a shot at the belts.
Okay.
Imperium agreed.
Okay.
But then somebody raised the stakes.
Oh yeah.
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 So we're getting a 6-man tag.
Oh.
MSK and Matt Riddle
Uh-huh.
versus Imperium.
With Walter?
With Walter!
Ah. Okay, cool. 7.
7. What's is it
7 is generous for me for tonight.
yeah.
Because the way I'm feeling about any WWE product, main roster and otherwise, the ceiling is probably going to be a 7. You know, that's the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was watching and I was happy with all the other stuff, and this could possibly be a 9 or a 10, right? But I feel this is a very generous 7, just because of what you described to me. I would like to see the contrast of styles of MSK versus Imperium. You add MSK plus Riddle. I can see Riddle enhancing MSK
Yes.
the same way how Walter enhances Imperium. So that matchup just sounds very tantalizing to me. But again, I don't trust WWE enough to sustain this.
Regardless that it's NXT.
I think this is going to be a peak, and then there's going to be a valley that falls out underneath it. Walter goes back to the UK, and he's not going to be around to follow up. And Matt Riddle's doing double duty, so he's just showing up for a little extra run-in cameo fucking appearance, and then it's back to just the 2 Imperium versus the 2 MSK, and what could be, oh, this is fucking badass, is not. It's like, remember on Marvel versus Capcom where you had your team of 3-on-3, and it's like, oh fuck yeah, 3-on-3, but then you have the little helpers that could come out as well. To me,
Marvel versus Capcom 1 was 2-on-2 with the little helper. Marvel
Okay.
3 was all 3-on-3.
3-on-3
So
with
I
the
know what you're talking
helper.
about. No helper.
Okay, it's 2-on-2 with the help.
Yeah.
So the helpers, in my mind, are Walter and Riddle. You're not really fighting with them. They're the helper that kind of comes in that's kind of cool, but ultimately you're controlling Rush and Mega Man, right? You're not controlling the little helper guy, and the little helper guy is just there just to help, and then he's out, and that's not the actual fucking
Just
fight.
to embellish.
Yeah, it's just to embellish. It's not the actual fucking fight, you know. So yeah, that's how I feel that is.
Depending on what character you got as your helper in Marvel vs. Capcom, they were probably the thing you needed to get to the next round. So I'm at an 8.5 for this match. Most of that is because I get to see Walter wrestle again. The other half is, to be fair, on the MSK side, one of the few things I have been liking about NXT consistently was the story of MSK. Because if you go back to those good episodes of Impact, where they did that 70s show table, and you got Trey and the other two, and the camera just keeps going back and forth, and sometimes Tommy Dreamer's sitting there, or sometimes RVD's sitting there, or sometimes Dixie Carter's like, I just came for this max. You know, but every segment that shit was fucking good. To consistently, the story of MSK getting to Riddle and then Riddle actually showing them shit was actually entertaining to me. I might be in the minority because sometimes that WWE produced comedy doesn't hit a home run for everybody.
Right.
But I liked it. I think it made MSK better. I thought MSK had already plateaued a bit when they won the title. What else could you do with them? This is another example of like Gargano or like fucking Dean Ambrose, where holy shit, they showed comedic timing. We can do other things with them and maybe make more of them. This is gonna get MSK to the next level of all right, this is the team of NXT because they can wrestle, they can cut promos in the ring, they can be charismatic in the ring, and they actually have enough personality. They can do promos outside of the ring, outside in public, and they can make it work.
Okay.
So it's helping out MSK a lot more. Imperium, I don't think it needs it because it doesn't matter. I'm just watching that. I'm watching that for fucking Walter.
Walter.
Yeah. And I got Imperium winning.
All right.
I've got some.
To me, it sounds like that there's going to be more interestingness that comes out of MSK winning. So sure, why not MSK?
Yeah. We're gonna run through this pretty quick.
God, I hope so. It's 9:30 already.
Wrestlekingdom, night 1. Shingo Takagi.
Yes.
Kazuchika Okada.
Ooh.
For the IWGP World Championship. Remember what I just said. For the IWGP World Championship. So you've been missing out on a lot.
Okay.
The last time we talked about New Japan, the main event of G1 Climax was Okada versus Ibushi. 15 minutes in, Ibushi did a Phoenix Splash. Okada rolled out. Ibushi dislocated his shoulder. They ended the match there. Okada won the G1.
Okay.
So Okada, in the next week, cuts a promo after a show that says, this contract for the G1 Climax gave me a shot at the IWGP World Champion. Not the New Japan Championship, that Transformer belt that everybody's passing around like an STD. So I'm bringing back the IWGP Championship. I am IWGP Champion since no one else has it, and I won the Climax. So Okada's been walking around with the old classic IWGP title.
Oh.
So that's what he'll be defending against
Shingo.
Because Shingo is the New Japan, the brand new title. He's champ. So they're going to unify both of those belts. See what we're doing here? So it's Shingo versus Kazuchika. Night 1, main event. Who's winning?
Ooh. Man, now see, okay, this is the difference between New Japan and WWE. New Japan, I trust to do something pretty wild and crazy. Because if this was WWE, I'd be like, oh, it's the Universal title instead of the WWE title. Yeah, so Shingo's winning it. You know, Shingo has the Universal title, the one that's officially fucking observed by the company, right? Not the one that's the legacy one, right? Mm-hmm. So I would say this is predictable, it's easy, whatever. But this is New Japan. They could be like, hey, we just spent money on a new title, but this is the old one. People respect the old one, and it's Okada. So yeah, we'll go with that. And so I really don't know what the prediction is, to be honest. And I'm not really sure because they're not as easy to predict as WWE. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing that I don't know what the hell's going to happen here with this. And here's the other difference with WWE is that I could not watch New Japan. You could give me the quick little dirty synopsis, and I'll be like, damn, that sounds interesting. That sounds cool, and it makes sense. Whereas, like, oh, well, you had to see this, and they had to see that, and it wasn't that cool, and it would trust me, just listen to me, you know, that kind of thing when it comes to WWE. Here is like, you give me the synopsis, and I'm already hooked, just from what you said. So I'm gonna go with about 8. I don't know who I got winning. You might have to help me fill in the blanks for that.
Unfortunately, you have to pick it because it comes back around. So who you got winning? Who do you want to win? Okada or Shingo?
I want Shingo to win.
I want Shingo to win too.
Okay.
So we'll run with that. I'm at a 9.
Okay.
Because this Wrestle Kingdom main event, you need to pack a lunch. Well, it's Wrestle Kingdom. You got to pack a breakfast. Because they're going at least 30 to 45 minutes.
Okay.
The other highlight among many. Katsuyori Shibata is coming back again.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
His opponent is not been revealed yet.
Oh.
But this is not just an exhibition match.
Okay.
This is a catch-as-catch-can exhibition match.
What
So
does that
this is
mean?
No chops, no rope break. It's pure mat wrestling.
Ah.
Who do you want to see wrestle the wrestler at fucking Wrestlekingdom? Keep in mind, when he came back a couple of months ago out of the blue during the G1 during the G1
Don't say
weekend,
it. Osprey. Now, I'm not saying who you're going to say. That's who
it was
my pick
Saber
is.
was the original.
I want it to be Osprey.
Okay. I'm picking somebody else.
Okay.
Because there's been a guy in the last couple of weeks. If you've been surfing around the internet or the internet wrestling community, been talking a lot about this kid. Current Ring of Honor champion Jonathan Gresham.
Oh.
Who has no plans.
Ooh.
Jonathan Gresham in an exhibition. This is not a wrestling match. This isn't
It's
going
an
30
exhibition,
minutes with
yeah.
a bell. This is just like a 5-minute or 10-minute just grapple session. If you're not going to give me Suzuki, the first person that comes into my mind is Jonathan Gresham. Jonathan Gresham versus Shibata. That'll really, it's Jonathan Gresham moves around like a goddamn octopus, but he takes care of the people he wrestles with. He's had some crazy ass matches, and I haven't heard any rebuttal after the fact or backstage of people that think he works too stiff or too snug or hurts people. So he's the perfect guy, I would think, to take care of Shibata for 10 minutes to make Shibata look good as a guy that almost knocked his brains out of his ears 5 years ago and is now back in the ring.
Okay.
I'd pick Gresham.
That's a good pick. I like that. Now, okay. Are we going to talk about this at all? Are we going to talk about the fall of ROH?
We'll save that for the end of the year review.
Okay. So
the fall, but they haven't hit the bottom yet because
okay.
we don't know what April looks like.
I have a question, and if you want to save this question for later, that's cool. But let me just throw it out there. The question is, what happens to the champs of ROH? Their tag and their.
So as of now, ROH is not gone.
Okay.
They're in hiatus. They're supposed to return in April. Oddly enough, WrestleMania weekend. They might have a show in Dallas because that's where WrestleMania is. 2022, depending on how bad Omicron goes or the next variant. Jonathan Gresham has been defending the Ring of Honor world title in all his independent shows.
Oh, okay.
Roxy at Final Battle, she got challenged by Deonna Purrazzo.
Right.
So Roxy is still defending her titles. FTR crashed the Briscoes winning the tag titles at Final Battle, and FTR has invited the Briscoes to show up on Dynamite. So I'm guessing that the Battle of the Belts special is gonna be fucking FTR because they have AAA titles against Briscoe's ROH titles. So they're still keeping the ROH championship lineage on the forefront with Gresham and Roxy and Red Titus won the television title. Finally.
Oh, did he?
I think that was the first actual singles belt he's ever won on the last day of Ring of Honor.
Who needs titles when you have a room key?
Yeah. Night 2.
All right.
The second pretender. Why does Shingo have the belt right now?
I don't know why.
Because fucking Ospreay broke his neck and had to forfeit the belt.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Oh, Ospreay's
the beginning
injured?
of the curse. Ospreay injured himself like in April.
Well, then I take my thing back that I said earlier about it being Ospreay. Why not Saber?
But don't lose faith.
Okay.
Because Ospreay came back early.
Oh, good.
And he's been defending his version of the IWGP World Title. He claims he's the real champion because he never got pinned for it. So either Okada or Shingo will have to wrestle Will Ospreay on the second night to have an undisputed heavyweight champion for New Japan Pro Wrestling.
So
you picked
Shingo.
We had Shingo versus Ospreay win a match of the year for us. And now they could possibly main event the second night of Wrestlekingdom. Give me a number. And is this a match that you will go back and watch before we record our next episode?
If that match happens,
if it happens,
I will be at a 9.
And you might be here watching it.
This is theoretically maybe not a match.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with an 8.
Okay. but you'll watch it. You'll make time to watch it if it happens. Night
Probably.
2, Wrestlekingdom,
Probably.
Tokyo Dome,
Yeah.
25
Yeah.
grand.
Yeah.
Shingo versus Ospreay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm at a 9.
That's tickling my pickle.
I'm at a 9 for that. Now, who do I have winning? That's
Shingo.
the bigger problem.
The guy that has to fight more matches and get all the way through and has the rightful title, defeats both of these charlatans that think that they have the real title, but it's not really the real title. Shingo.
So you have Shingo traveling to the States for U.S. shows during COVID. You have Shingo still going back to Japan to do New Japan shows in Japan. Something has to happen. Something has to give here, because one of the main reasons that Ospreay is running this storyline is because they're still running shows in the States. There's a show in California happening in February that I've got my eye on of wanting to go to.
Oh, of course.
Because they had a show earlier in the year in Los Angeles that sold out, and they had Ospreay there. He had announced that he had returned to ring action and he had the title.
Yeah.
Or he claimed to be the champ because he never lost it. So if you're going to go balls in on New Japan in the U.S. and you're going to merge the champions to have one person, that has to be somebody that can actually travel.
Well,
Not so much Ric Flair NWA kind of travel, but during COVID is serious business. Would you put that on Shingo, or would you keep it on Ospreay, who's already been doing it now, as opposed to the light amount of shows that New Japan's had in Japan?
I mean,
just have Ospreay go back and forth.
I mean, I hate to sound a little insensitive here, but
Fuck America?
No. What the fuck is the difference? Like, okay, Ospreay can travel, but Shingo can't? Why? Shingo can't get on a plane? Okada can't get on a plane? The fuck? They both can travel. Like Omicron, Delta, COVID, it's not gonna that's Ospreay, so we're not gonna infect Ospreay. But we'll infect Shingo if he gets on a plane. Like, what the no, there's no difference there.
Okay.
So yeah,
Business be damned. You want who's your winner?
Shingo.
Ospreay beat Shingo in our match of the year, didn't he? I've got Ospreay. Oh, that's a tough one, man.
That was our match of the year winner.
Yeah, mathematic wise, I think I'm good either way. But if I have to pick somebody, man, I'm gonna be that guy. God damn it, I'm gonna say Ospreay. I love Shingo. But I'm gonna be fair. Shingo won the belt. I haven't been staying up watching every month New Japan pay-per-views. Ospreay can cut a promo, and I don't want to sound like an asshole. Ospreay can cut a promo that I can understand. Ospreay can build up on Twitter promos and backstories that I can understand, to where, what, I'll relate more to Ospreay as an asshole than a cool Shingo that I don't understand what's going on. And I'll probably watch more New Japan stuff with Will Ospreay as a champ, because I can actually understand his promos. Just like Sabre. Sabre's an asshole on the microphone, but I understand it. I understand he speaks great English. I haven't heard, and it's obvious, and it's not a negative. Shingo's a Japanese wrestler from New Japan. His primary language is Japanese, so he's going to speak Japanese all the time. But he's not going to be like fucking Hideo Itami when he debuted in NXT and spoke in both languages.
Yeah.
Or cut promos in both languages. If Shingo's not going to cut at least 10% of his badass promo in the ring in English, how am I going to relate to him as a fan that has disposable income, that has the network, that has time or the ability to run on 8 hours of work on 2 hours sleep so I can stay up and watch New Japan?
Well, because there's this thing called translators. It's this magical either person or device that can take one language and decipher it and change it into another language that you probably understand. That's how.
It's not the same. Have you ever watched the Simpsons in Mexico? Does
Yes.
Bart sound like the Bart Simpson from the original?
No.
Does Homer?
No.
Does Marge?
No.
Does Mr. Burns?
No, because they're
Flanders?
different fucking voice actors.
That's the point. I waited a year and a half to watch Dragon Ball Super in English instead of getting on Crunchyroll that I had access to watch Dragon Ball Super in Japanese without the dub, without the subs.
Okay.
So
okay.
I'm that guy. I'm that guy.
I mean that's a
I'm
good
uncultured.
That's a good point. But I watched Squid Game with Korean audio with the English subtitles. And I was just fine. And all them people complaining saying, oh, when they're speaking, it doesn't really make sense because they had the dubs and not the subs. Well, it's like, okay, cool. They fucked up the audio voiceover in English, but you know what wasn't fucked up? The fucking translation down at the bottom. So I heard them say the words in Korean, but I read them in English, and I was just fine.
I was elected to lead, not to read.
Well, that's your problem that you're illiterate. You know, you're complaining about only understanding one language spoken, but you understand zero written. That's on you.
Hi. Naito versus Jeff Cobb. Give me a number.
7.
7.
Sounds good on paper. I don't know any of the context.
There isn't much. Naito's coming back from injury. He got injured in the beginning of the G1 climax.
Okay.
So he's coming back, and his return is against Jeff Cobb.
Okay, cool.
7. Got Cobb winning.
Naito. Naito's coming back.
Hiroshi Tanahashi in a no disqualification match against Kenta.
8. The
no
DQ and the Kenta part makes me think that there's going to be some spiciness to this match because I'm like Tanahashi, in a no DQ, against Kenta, what? Okay, I'm not like many moons ago when we were doing the show, we had a certain person named Jaime on the show explaining to us what a Tanahashi is, and he said basically
my match of the year, Tanahashi's on half of them. A what?
Yeah. I was like, well, what is a Tanahashi? And he said, the Tanahashi is the Japanese John Cena, but he's actually over. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. We watched him, and I was like, yeah, he's a Japanese John Cena, except he could actually do a couple more things than Cena could do, and he's over.
Better than John Cena.
He's the baby face of all the baby faces. He's squeaky fucking clean, but he does a moonsault, and like he's a little bit more, flashy in the ring, which is cool. So like I trust his cookie cutter baby face more than I did Cena, and even now cookie cutter baby face is still trusted more. But I don't trust him for a no DQ match. But if he's in a no DQ match, it depends who his opponent is. And if his opponent is a pissed off fucking Kenta who has a chip on his shoulder, who's pissed for leaving Japan, going to America, it being shitty, coming back, taking over the Bullet Club not respecting him, and Jay White shitting all over him. He's going to Noah, but now that he's in Noah, he's coming back to New Japan, and he has even a bigger chip on his shoulder, and he's gonna fuck him up. Yes, I am down. That sounds really cool.
I'm at a 9. I've got Tanahashi winning because since it's no DQ, New Japan is not afraid to go full bore. They have been telling this story low key for quite a while, and it started when fucking Shibata came back and said he was fine, just for Kenta to kick his head off and do the pose on a laden Shibata. Shibata's gonna interfere and cost Kenta the match. And somewhere down the road, when Shibata's at 100% and New Japan gives him the green flag to actually wrestle an actual match the way New Japan wrestles matches, Shibata and Kenta co-main eventing an event is gonna tear the fucking house down. No one's gonna be able to follow it.
Okay.
That's where I'm going with that. And to top it all off, just because I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about this, this is how good of a babyface Hiroshi Tanahashi is. There's a picture that's been floating online from a New Japan show when COVID first started of him going like this.
Okay. What's the significance of that? Of him
because he always hugs fans after his matches But since he had no fans in the arena for COVID, he was
He
hugging
hugged
himself
himself.
for
Okay.
the fans,
Okay.
for them to someday come back so that he can hug them again.
Oh.
You can, that's Hogan levels of babyface, bro.
That's even more than Hogan levels of babyface. Yeah. No, that's cool. Squeaky clean, cookie cutter babyface, but he does it well.
Night 3.
Wait. What?
January the 8th, night 3, Wrestle Kingdom, New Japan versus Noah, brand supremacy.
Ah.
Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kazuchika Okada against Kaito Kiyomiya and the Great Fucking Muda.
What?
The Pillars of Noah against the Pillars of New Japan.
What?
Yes, the
Okay.
Great Muda.
You
You don't have to give me a number for that
Okay.
because there's a lot of matches that are going on in that pay-per-view. I have very little to no knowledge of Noah other than a wrestler that's probably one of their biggest stars right now that we saw in his infancy against Roderick Strong at WrestleMania 25 weekend, Katsuhiko Nakajima. He's one of their big guys in Noah right now. He's
Okay.
going to be on that show in like a 10-man tag
Okay.
against Ingo Barnables. But the best part of this show is that Kenta is actually going to be on the Noah side, not in the Bullet Club side of New Japan, because he made his name in Noah before he did his little trip around the world and come back. So this is going to be like Wrestle Kingdom 8, where it was my first taste of a bunch of people, and the first taste I got was Kota Ibushi and Shinsuke Nakamura, that blew my fucking mind. So if I get to see Nakajima in this 10-man tag, or if I get to see somebody that I don't know from Noah, to
Nakajima did a lot of ROH, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did a lot back in the day.
Okay.
So this could be like the coming out party for me of Noah and be like, oh shit, that's more meat in the cultural stew of professional wrestling that I got to digest. You know?
Yeah.
So I'm welcome to it.
Yeah.
Do you have any match of the week candidates for the last couple of weeks, COVID boy?
The 5-on-5 from last night. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really liked it.
I have one.
Okay.
And there's only one that sticks into my mind.
Okay.
Bryan Danielson, Hangman Page.
Oh yeah, that would have been since the last time that we've. Yes. No. Yes. I don't know. For some reason in my mind we've already talked about that, and that was further away, further back. No, you're right. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Would you be willing to dethrone Omega Danielson from our match of the year list with Danielson Page?
You know, I was thinking about that whenever I was watching the match.
Anybody still out there? Let us know if we need to.
I'm not sure. I feel like my knee-jerk reaction was no. When I tried to let my analytical mind take over, I was like, there's no reason why this one shouldn't be, because it seems like between the bells, it was just as good. It was a draw. It had implications. World title. At Hangman's backyard. To build with Bryan going through the rest. Like, is this any better than what we saw with Kenny? Kenny, it was for stakes. It was a long match. It was really good. Like, I don't know. So if I can't 100% full bore say analytically, yes, it needs to be. And if my knee jerk was maybe, my knee jerk is it was really, really fucking good, but I don't know if it's better to replace the other one. I think I'm going to have to say no, but by a hair.
I agree completely.
Thank you. Okay.
And most of that, and I hate, and I'm always this guy, and I'm going to say it again. An hour's too fucking long. It didn't feel like an hour.
An hour's too long.
It didn't feel like an hour when I watched it, but I do remember by like the 55th minute, I was like, this is probably going to go the hour. Omega and Danielson, you didn't know the match was going to go full 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Because Omega's been known to like beat motherfuckers at like a minute and a half to go.
Mm-hmm.
He beat Okada with a minute to go in Omega Okada 3.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel as slow for too long. Danielson and Hangman, as good as Hangman was in that match, he hung with Danielson. But you could tell they were dragging. It wasn't HBK Bret Hart bad, but there were moments that you could tell they were dragging that shit out. To the point, like, man, this smells like an hour draw. Omega and Danielson, after they felt each other out for about 5 minutes, they were rolling. Mm-hmm. And if Omega,
that was probably even less than 5 minutes.
If Hangman versus Danielson didn't feel like an hour, Omega and Danielson really didn't feel like 30 minutes. I felt like there was at least 10 more minutes. Like this ended too quick. Yeah. Part of that was that there was no clock or no announcement or nothing unless you barely heard it and the crowd reacting that there was only 5 minutes left. So it's very close. But if we're only this is like 1 and 1A, but we're only going with our ones. And our one right now is still, in my opinion, Omega and Daniel.
If this was at 2021, and if we still had our old 2012 to 2020 criteria, I would say, yeah, throw it on the fucking list. Yeah. And we'll figure it out.
We have 8 Dynamite matches on our match of the year list.
Yeah, we would figure it out on the day when we're actually, doing our year in review. But since we're doing it a little bit different this year, where it's like we have one contender from each brand, I don't know if this will eke out that other match. And what sucks is that I feel like at the beginning of the year, this was a good idea, especially considering what happened last year, where it was like, this was to remedy a problem that we had in 2020.
Several years, actually.
2020, 2019, and 2018, yeah. But that same problem has not persisted this year.
Solving it earlier in the year doesn't make it any easier.
Well, no, the problem isn't even the same. The problem in those previous years was that we had trouble getting stuff from each brand. And we're saying, well, each brand will have its own thing, and that makes it more fair. Whereas this year, AEW steamrolled everything else. Like, we struggled. I don't even think we have one for the WWE category.
Yes, we do.
Do we?
It's Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks from WrestleMania 9-1.
But there's a brand where we don't have one, right? Is that true? Is it NXT or is
we have an NXT? It's Walter versus Dragunov too.
Okay.
It's been a long COVID year and there's a lot of gaps in the middle.
Either way, like if we were doing this like we did last year, our list would be like fucking 5-6 AEW matches and those 2
or 3
from everyone else. Whereas we wanted to make it a little bit more equitable.
And then 5 of those matches, one's an hour long.
Yeah. So yeah.
So we have 4 matches so far still. And here's the kicker. 6 months ago, 9 months ago, 12 months ago, 18 months ago. With all due respect to Hangman, Adam Page, Bryan Danielson was never a dream match. Kenny fucking Omega, the cleaner, versus the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, has been a dream match. And AEW cashed in on that hoe. That's another clincher that spreads it.
Yeah.
If I take away my assholery for 5 minutes and say time don't matter.
Okay.
That's the other clincher.
Okay.
See,
Wangman versus Kenny, a little bit of a dream match, but not because people were dreaming about it, but because they built it
3 fucking years
over 3
since
years.
The beginning of AEW.
Yeah. But like, if you sat me down 18 months ago and said, hey, you're going to have D-Bry show up in AEW, give me your top 3, your top 5 matches of who you want him to see. I don't think I would have had him versus Hangman back then. Him versus Hangman now really made sense, especially the way that they built the angle with him taking out the members of the Dark Order
in their hometowns.
He was #1 contender, and he was going to, knock them off one by one. And the other side of that was, oh shit, they finally paid off this 3-year feud where Hangman finally beat Kenny. Cool. Those 2 things just came together really quickly. But yeah, you're right. You look back months and months ago, even a year ago, that wasn't something that was a dream match like they were trying to say that it was. It became a dream match, but that dream was realized very quickly. Yeah.
Do you think the rematch, Adam Page versus Bryan Danielson, this Wednesday on TBS, the debut of the mothership, Turner Broadcasting Network station.
With judges.
Do you think this will go another hour? Or is there a definitive winner? Do you have a winner, or do you have it going another hour?
I don't think that they would go through. Okay. I'm going to say this. What I'm about to say, I'm going to immediately become a hypocrite and say the opposite. So let me just get it out. I don't think that they will go through the whole rigmarole of announcing that there's going to be judges and picking the judges and having the judges at ringside. And I'm sure they're going to put the camera on and say, hey, here are the judges, just in case it goes an hour again. I don't think they're going to go through all of that fucking pomp and circumstance for it to get ended without the judges coming into play. Here's where I'm going to be the hypocrite. I can see AEW pulling that shit off just so that they're not predictable WWE. Predictable WWE mind in me says that everything that I just said about going through the fucking motions of getting a judge means that it is going to the judges. That's a WWE way of thinking and a typical sports entertainment way of thinking. So I could definitely see AEW setting up an expectation to fucking subvert the expectation and have fucking Hangman win it at minute 32. So I'm kind of excited to see what happens. Either way, I think we're going to have Hangman win, whether it goes to the judges or Hangman actually definitively wins it before the time limit. Either way, Hangman's winning. They're not going to take it off of Hangman this quick. I don't think. But if they did, holy fuck, I'd be happy. I'd be surprised. I'd be pleasantly surprised because wow, they had the balls to do that and take it off of Hangman that quick. Wow. And then give it to D-Bry. Wow. Like that. Woo. Go.
It's not going an hour.
Okay.
There's not going to be a winner.
There's not going to be a winner at all?
There's going to be something at the 42nd minute mark where they roll each other up and the ref counts both of them 1, 2, 3. They're both pinned.
They both
Hangman and the Dragon are 0, 0, and 2. So the third match is 2 out of 3 falls, no time limit. That's a whole fucking episode of Dynamite right there.
Hold on.
You want to talk about history?
Hold on.
All right, Dario.
In the event of a tie, like a double pin, wouldn't that just automatically go to the judges? No?
The judges only are going to make the decision if the match goes 60 minutes. The match doesn't go 60 minutes. The judges are moved.
Okay.
That's a distraction.
Okay.
Just like your WWE mentality.
In boxing and MMA, because I'm not a boxing or MMA
there are no
guy.
rounds.
Right.
So you're not going to.
I understand. But if you go all of the rounds, right, it goes to the judges. But what happens if you have your judges at ringside and there's like a double KO?
It's not going to be a double KO. It's going to be split decision. So,
but what I'm saying is, if there's some sort of, in boxing, if there's a shenanigan where both of them fucking lose, where it would otherwise be a tie, but there's judges, would the judges come into play there?
No.
If
it's a double knockout, the referee calls it a double knockout, which is extremely rare. But there have been many cases where the math happens, where it becomes split decision because it's halved. But if it doesn't,
doesn't that only happen if you have an even number of judges?
No, because one judge can score it 118 to 110, another judge can score it 118 to 110, and the third judge can call it 112 to 112.
So they just go by off of their own points.
Yeah. So one judge has one person winning, the other person has the other person winning, and then the third judge. So
even if it goes to the judges, you can have a tie?
But again, there's no round. So how are the judges going to... They never really explained how the judges are going to judge it until the night of the show, which leads me to believe, like boxing, Dana White's prolific quote, never leave a fight in the hands of the judges.
Right. So
if the match ends before the 60 minutes, the judges don't even matter. So that's why I'm saying they're going to be some kind of roll-up where the ref pins both of them 1, 2, 3, and the ref calls it a draw in like the 40-something minute. And again, I will love the fans booing the shit out of it, so I can do this to the fans, because you don't pay for 5 more minutes. You pay for the rematch later on down the road. And Bryan Danielson versus Adam Page 3, where neither of them have a decisive victory. That main event Revolution.
Okay.
In Orlando.
Man, I would imagine that it wouldn't be that convoluted with the numbering and the point system. I would imagine, since there's no rounds like you're saying, it would just be at the end of the 30-minute time limit, you got 3 judges. Who do you vote for? Who do you vote for? Who do you vote for? And it's either going to be 3-0 or 2-3, or 2-1. You know, and like that's it.
You got to keep in mind, Tony Khan's a guy that worships old school wrestling, like Jim Cornette and like fucking Paul Heyman, and the Mid-South and the Georgia Championship Wrestling, and wrestlers like Ric Flair, who, for anybody that doesn't know, wrestled hour-long matches by the week.
Right. Yeah.
It's not their fault that us stupid fans of this generation aren't accustomed to, oh, I'm not getting what I want, I'm booing everything. No, it's part of the bigger picture. So what the fuck does it matter if if they get another match that they don't get a finish? It's telling the bigger story. Either Bryan Danielson can't make it in the big match. He couldn't beat Omega in Dynamite's biggest arena in Arthur Ashe. Couldn't beat Hangman twice for the title. Either Danielson's not what he's made to be, or you know what, Hangman cowboy shit till the very end, until there were no more bullets in the chamber, and he finally had to let it go. That's the story they're building. So if you show up in the first chapter where they win a draw and you're booing, or you show up at the second chapter where they pin each other and you're still booing, fuck you, because it's for the sake of the story, not for the chapter.
Okay.
So I've got some kind of fuckery that they both get pin each other, and we're keeping this going.
Okay.
We're keeping it going.
You know what? Either way, I'm excited to see how they're actually going to handle this.
And it helps the cause. They've only announced 4 matches for this, and one of them is a repeat of the hour-long. Ruby Soho versus Jade Cargill for the finals of the TBS Hose title. Number
9. I'm at a 9.
What's keeping you? Maybe we have the same answer.
What's brought me up to a 9 is the same thing that's keeping me from a 10. And it's Jade Cargill. I really, really like Jade, but I kind of wanted it to be Thunder Rosa. But I really, really like Jade. But I don't know. Like I think Thunder versus Ruby is what I wanted. Jade versus Ruby is the match that I didn't know that I wanted, but I'm getting. And yeah, and I think Jade's winning, because I kind of wanted Thunder to win the whole thing. And if it's not Thunder, is it going to be Ruby? I mean, I guess so. I'd be happy if it's Ruby, but Jade's been doing so good, and I can see Jade winning it, because now we have 2 women champions, right?
2 heel women champions.
Right, but still, there's 2 belts out there. So if Ruby or Thunder don't get this one, they can always challenge for the other one. So it's not like, all hope is lost for my aspirations for Thunder Rosa to be champ, but it's still like, how are you going to get her to actually fight DMD, or is Jade going to win? And that's when she comes back around and says, hey, look, you beat me in the semifinals, but you know what? I bet you can't do it twice. Or hey, it was some sort of fluke win because smart Mark Sterling. And I mean, they planted those seeds with fucking Mercedes Martinez coming out. So it's like that feud is still going on. So she's going to go win her title real quick and then come back to the feud. So I don't know, man. And another, just like the rematch there with the American Dragon and Cowboy, I'm like, either either outcome, I'm intrigued. Either way that you play it, I'm gonna be
The
like,
road
cool.
ahead is
Yeah.
interesting.
The road ahead is interesting.
Yeah.
And Ruby winning it, I think that's the shortest road ahead. Ruby wins it, that's it. Okay. Cool. What's next for Ruby? And then what? I'm actually more interested in Thunder versus Jade. And that's not the title. So I mean, yeah, you could have Ruby win the title. So Ruby has the belt. DMD has another belt. They both have their own separate programs, and then you have your third program with Thunder and Jade. So now all of a sudden you have 3 women's programs that are all top notch. Cool. But in order for that to work, you need to have somebody credible going up against Ruby, and I don't know who that could be.
We're on the same page,
Okay.
just different books.
Okay.
I'm at a 9. What's keeping me from a 10 is Jade.
Oh.
The best match Jade has had so far was last night against Thunder Rosa.
Yeah, it was a good match.
Her selling was on another level too. But here's the catch that I have with Jade.
Okay.
Even as good as the match she had with Thunder Rosa, right now, I see Jade as an attraction, not someone weekly on Dynamite.
Okay.
If she wins the title, I expect Mark Sterling to keep her away from wrestling until it's big money time, unless it's big matches.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see Jade every week wrestling in the ring, being the champion's champion. No, her money right now, oddly enough, pre-taped backstage promos.
Yeah.
With that bitch show. That's the hook that's got Jade above anybody else in that tournament leading up to this belt.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention Ruby's work against Chris Statlander. Face versus face, I don't know if that would have worked. As much as I love X23, I mean, Thunder Rosa, I don't know if I would have gotten as entertaining of a match with Ruby and Rosa as I would have or could or might get with Ruby against fucking Jade Cargill.
Okay.
Ruby from underneath against a stronger, taller, bitch wrestler like Jade. That's going to be the story.
Okay.
I've got Jade winning it, but I sure hope that I don't see Jade wrestling every week. I want that bitch show on once a month.
And that's why they have Mercedes Martinez to take care of it, take care of all the light work.
Yeah.
You want to get to me, you got to get through her.
And the other thing is, we're going to come back around. There's a reason why at some point in this year, Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker from St. Patrick's Day Slam was our match of the year from AEW. There's still stuff to go back to. Eventually, Britt Baker's losing that belt to Thunder Rosa.
Think so?
I think so. It's so easy. That story you can run it back so easy. So I got Jade winning. I'm at a 9.
Okay.
Malachi Black against Brian Pillman Jr.
8. I believe we talked about this a little bit earlier in the show, where I'm happy that Malachi Black is fighting against the what are they? The Golden Tigers? What the fuck are they? Varsity Blondes. Golden Tigers? What the hell?
Wow.
Yeah, the Varsity Blondes. I'm glad because that's showing and proving that they can take the XWE talent and incorporate them into their current crop of homegrown talent, which is cool. That being said, I like Flying Brian Pillman Jr. I like him. Don't get me wrong. I do still think that he's green. He's not green as fucking baby puke. He's green as dog shit.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of green, but kind of brown. You know, he needs a little bit of work still. His promo isn't really there. What was it, 2 weeks ago?
Last night's promo, I give him credit. There was an inflection in his voice. He sounded like he wanted to cry when he brought up his daddy. Dude, that was a donkey punch. When he said, the one thing I learned from my dad about life, motherfucker, you only get one. That hurt.
You're right.
He's getting there.
You're very right.
He's getting there.
Because you know what he did? He fucking channeled his actual inner feelings. And that's what he needs to learn how to do. Because what I was going to say is the promo 2 weeks ago was not
dog
that.
Shit.
Yeah, it was not that. The promo 2 weeks ago was very scripted, very, I need to remember my lines, because it was him and the other one. and the other one, like he was trying to be upset, like, hey, Jill is in the hospital. Why are you? Well, I'll go out there with or without you.
The backstage,
Okay, yeah, like the backstage
awful.
felt disjointed and awful, like they couldn't act. But when he said what he said last night, he wasn't acting. He was speaking from the heart. That's the difference between what we had pre Talking Smack Miz and the Miz at Talking Smack. And it wasn't just at Talking Smack. Miz realized what he did at that promo, and he realized, oh, I was channeling and I was harnessing my inner fucking emotions and putting it into the words I was saying right then and there. And he kept doing it. He sustained it. It was like a light bulb went off in the Miz's head, like, oh, this is how I cut this style of promo, and I'm going to do that every time. Hopefully, that's the same thing with Pillman Jr. Hopefully, Pillman Jr. realized that last night. But I don't know, because we saw that same Pillman Jr. months, if not last year, when he was saying that on Dark Side of the Ring. Now, Dark Side of the Ring was about real life, but he was in front of a camera, in front of a TV, fucking crying, pouring out his emotions. You didn't see that anywhere on AEW, anywhere else. Hell, even when they had that episode when they were there at his hometown and his what was it, his sister was ringside. Oh, hey, look, it's my sister. I love her. She's really cool. What do you think, Cleveland?
Walking to the ring.
Yeah, and it's like
somebody that talks shit about family.
Hey, sister. Yeah. Like, okay, yeah, okay, dude, you got to work on it, you know? Yeah. Even that was a little bit better than the 2 weeks ago backstage segment, because he was trying to get that little going for bringing the emotion out, but it wasn't there yet, you know?
Lucha Bros against Jurassic Express for the tag titles.
9.
9.
It's going to be a bonkers match in between the belts, the same way how the 6-man tag was with Christian and the other one in there. Just without them, traditional tag match for stakes. Cool.
9. I don't want to say that I have Lucha Bros winning, but I don't think the belts right now is what's going to move Jurassic Express to the next level. Okay. A part of me thinks that Jurassic Express might be splitting.
Where's
Luchasaurus cool? I don't know, but I prefer to see Jungle Express without Marco.
Okay.
I think I think Coronet's brainwashing has affected me to the point that I agree with him that Marco just doesn't add value to the team.
I totally disagree there.
Go.
I think Marco brings this like lovable quality to the group. Now, maybe not between the bells.
Is he bringing that at the expense of Jungle Boy? Shouldn't you be feeling that for Jungle Boy and not Infant Boy?
Jungle Infant. I don't know, man, because like while I really, really, really like Jungle Boy, I think that they're. Let me backtrack a little bit. Here's where I'm missing him.
What you're feeling for Marco Stunt, you're supposed to be feeling for Jungle Boy.
Scratch that.
Okay.
I need the 30-second explanation. That's what I'm missing, because I like them as a package, but I could see your argument that you don't need that package because the cutesiness is getting taken away from Jungle Boy. And I'm like, at some point, I don't want Jungle Boy to be the cutesy one. I want Jungle Boy to be the man, the one that they're actually entrusting. So, yeah, you have Ash Ketchum with the little Pikachu, but also the big fucking Charizard, Luchasaurus, Pikachu, Marco Stunt, and he is Ash. Cool. I could dig that. I could dig it. Yeah, you have the little one that's littler than you, but you're still the guy in charge because you're just right. Okay? But I can totally see you and Cornette's argument. Get rid of the little one, make it more on him.
If you're using that analogy, Jungle Boy is Pikachu. Ash right now is fucking Christian Cage.
Right. But where I'm getting lost is I get it that Christian Cage has shown an interest in these guys. Mm-hmm. What the fuck happened to Marco Stunt? Where is he? I need that 30-second explainer saying, oh, he got lost.
Went back to his own planet.
Yeah. I need something, especially since I'm still starting to lose the expectation, but I'm not there yet. Of the expectation is this thing with Christian is temporary. Christian is not the Jurassic Express. Christian is not a part of their stable. This isn't a stable, it's a trio. But you replace the one with the other. But Christian's like a veteran who's helping out some guys. He's not the leader, he's not the mentor, but with each passing week, he kind of is. I'm not saying I want Christian to stab him in the back. I just want to see Christian go and do his own fucking thing, like how he said he was gonna do, which is outwork everyone and challenge for fucking titles. Have meaningful singles runs, not patting the little kid on the back and getting them
At minimum,
going, you know.
testing Jungle Boy. Are you ready to be that single star? Wrestle me, and I'll tell you what you're
Cool.
worth.
I think the other reason why I feel that way is because we're getting the exact same thing from Sting and Darby. And if I had to choose, I'd rather keep it with Sting and Darby because it's been around longer and it seems to make a little bit more sense. And it's Darby by himself with Sting, whereas four's a crowd because in my mind it's still four with these guys because it's the original trio. But Marco, I don't know, does he have COVID? And then Christian is the fourth wheel, and usually four wheels are good. But if you're meant to be designed to be three, you don't have a fourth wheel on a tricycle, you know?
And
So-
now we're doing the father-son thing with Taz and Hook. Now that's getting shine.
and it's a legitimate father-son
And it
thing.
works. For
Yeah.
completely different levels. You have the respect
Yeah.
for Taz, and then you look at whatever Pokemon you want to establish Hook as what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then he can fucking go, and then you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So
So I think I need Christian to break away, not in a bad way, not in a I'm going to stab you in the back and feud, but it's like, hey, I came to help you out. All right, now you're done. You're in a feud with somebody else. You know, and go do something else.
that's AEW Dynamite
Okay.
this Wednesday, TBS.
Okay. Do you want to talk about Cody?
I missed the match that he beat Sammy Guevara for the title. I don't.
It was a good match.
I don't know what to make of Cody right now. He's adamant that this brand isn't defined by faces and heels, so he doesn't know what to call himself. He teases going out of promos out of the heel tunnel, and then he goes reverses and goes back to the face tunnel. He's getting these weird ass reactions that I don't know how. I wish we could do like some kind of fucking special episode on how we got this, how we ended up with this Cody. We can go from him leaving WWE and having his little list of things he wanted to do and knocking them off. Cody becoming Ring of Honor champion. Cody debuting the Nightmare in New Japan. Cody latching on to the Bullet Club. Cody latching on when Tony Khan wanted to start his new promotion. Cody swearing he wasn't going to win a championship if he couldn't go for the AEW title if he lost the first time, which he did. And to his credit, he stuck to it. So he couldn't just win the TNT title a dozen times and beat Flair's record. And people are hating his guts because now he's on the Go Big Show, or now they're hating his guts because he has a sexy wife and he's got a cool family and he's got his cute kid, or they're hating his guts because now he's got his own TV show because he wants to be like John Cena, because he wants to be like Triple H, because he wants to be like fucking Ric Flair, because he wants to be like his daddy. And they just are jealous, maybe, because Cody's actually pulling it off, or he found a way to pull it off. This is the equivalent of Triple H marrying the family, but it's not WWE, so you kind of not supposed to hate it, but somehow everybody's hating it. And now he's just playing with it by making a shirt that says heel, babyface, winner, and then the Transformers tattoo over winner. Like, this whole fucking thing needs a goddamn, like, science project cardboard cutout folding thing with all these pictures of how we got from Cody to Cody Rhodes.
You got the little push pins with the string. Yeah. Like how did this happen? And look, see,
I think we need help. We need to do this in the end of the year review
I-
and have Hector or Arnold and the four of us just like break out the wall.
And I'm kind of getting the vibe that you and I are probably on the same page on here, where I don't hate Cody and I don't quite understand why people do hate Cody. But I'm very entertained by the tears of the people that do hate Cody. Right?
The tears hydrate me.
It's kind of like the opposite of the way Arnold feels about the Dallas Cowboys and their fan base,
or how you feel about the Undertaker.
Yeah. Arnold hates Dallas Cowboys fans. Arnold doesn't hate the Cowboys. He just doesn't like the Cowboys because he's a Texans fan. But he doesn't hate the Cowboys. He respects them, right?
Arnold doesn't see the big picture.
Yeah.
He hates Dallas Cowboys fans. I just hate Dallas people.
Well, that's another. Yes, that
diorama.
That too. But
if assholes could fly,
because we're Houstonians. Yes. Okay. So how I feel about Cody is, I never not liked Cody. I thought he was a good wrestler. I like what he does in the ring. I like the fact that he's leaning into being his father's son. And I respect the fact that like he can go and put on good matches. But when people like hate on it and they bring up the reasons why they hate, like, oh well, he just wiggled his way into winning championships because he is in the pocket of Tony Khan, and I'm like, dude, he's one of the CEOs of the company. Same thing happened with the Bucks. Same thing happened with Kenny. Now it's happening with him. And you know what? They all said that they wouldn't do it, and they all did it. And you turn your back on all of them. But at the end of the day, they're all fucking badass wrestlers, and I want to watch them, whether they're a heel or a face. And at one point, they're going to zig and zag between the two. One's going to have a heel turn, one's going to have a face turn, whatever. Now, I'm enjoying it. That being said, I am a little scared that AEW is going to do with Cody what WWE did with Cena and with Roman, where they obviously see what the crowd says and they're trying to fucking shoehorn it. Like, no, we're going to do everything we can to get the opposite reaction because you guys are reacting the wrong way that we want you to react. And they doubled down with Cena being the super squeaky clean baby face when nobody wanted him to be. And they doubled down with Roman being the super squeaky clean baby face when nobody wanted to see that. They're at the very end, and this was like 2018, 2019, 2020. Then in the middle of 2020, 2021, they're like, you know what, with Roman, let's do it. We learned our lesson from Cena. Let's do it. Let's pull the trigger and actually have him.
And now he's getting the same reactions.
He's getting the same reactions, but it's the reaction that they want, and it's working. And everybody's like, yeah, Roman's a lot better than what we thought. Good job.
But we're supposed to be booing him.
But people are booing him, but they're enjoying booing him.
Yeah.
You know? Whereas, while I absolutely love what they're doing with Dan Lambert, where Dan Lambert is the guy that gets the most natural fucking heat, Dan Lambert calling out the fact that he's the one that gets the most heat and they're trying to use him to subvert the heat that Cody's getting to try to flip him face, and he's calling everybody out on it, is brilliant, because either he's cowboying out and doing that shit on his own, and Tony Khan's back there like, dude, don't say that that's what we're trying to do. Or Tony Khan's like, this will be a great way to fucking troll him, and it's fucking brilliant either way. And it's like, me and Tony Khan are sitting in the back saying, these fucking idiots are booing Cody, and they're siding with Dan Lambert while still booing Cody, because they're fucking sheep and they're stupid.
But towards the end, there was a loud smattering of fans that were getting won over by goddamn Brandy.
Brandy did so good.
Just like her promo with Jade Cargill when Jade first showed up and Brandy was ready to throw down.
Yeah.
Brandy might be the key to getting Cody back to fan relevancy or likability.
No, you're wrong. It's not Brandy. It's
Dustin?
Detroit Brandy. There's a difference. Okay?
Oh, you got a black belt? I'm a black bitch. Let's go. When she said that, I was like, give it.
Brandy Rhodes and Detroit Brandy are two different people, brother. Detroit Brandy. Thank you, Portia, for coining that last night when we were watching it. So she started taking off the earrings, like, oh shit, we about to get Detroit Brandy. Yeah, Detroit Brandy will fucking do it. She's gonna bring that realness to that, where it's like, okay, fine, and she's gonna stick up for her man and just be a fucking bitch in a good way. And I like it.
And then the brother coming in, so there's no way that they can boo the Rhodes brothers against Men of the Year. With Cody being there, if Dustin's going to be the one trying.
I'm interested
if
to
they
see the
start
reaction.
booing Dustin.
I'm interested to see the reaction.
Cody's. There was one promo. I forgot who the rivalry was with, but it was recent where he addressed the fact that I apologize that I let my own personal desires get in the way of my priority. I tried to do the reality show. I tried to do the comedy show, and it devalued me in this ring, and I'm trying to work my value back up. And I apologize to that. By the end of that promo, the people were booing in the beginning. He was winning people over, just like Brandy was winning people over last night. You need more of that. Yeah. And maybe this is the tipping point where you build up you rise that tide with Cody on his end, and you direct that rising tide towards the asshole of Dan Lambert, and maybe even some top team, and have Cody get his ass beat a couple of weeks by some real MMA guys, and somebody puts their hand on
of Arn. I think Arn is kind of mucking all this up because people don't. Arn's a straight up heel, and people are kind of booing him because of Arn. But Arn is kind of egging it on under the guise of I'm trying to help Cody because I'm hired to help Cody. Fuck with these fans. You know what? Fuck you, Arn, and fuck Cody too.
Here's how it happens.
Okay.
Top team. Take out Arn Anderson.
Okay.
Lambert puts his hands on Brandy. Mm-hmm. That's going to be all you need for at least casual audience to be like, he's fighting for her, for his woman. Yeah. So this asshole talked trash, called her a stripper, and then he put his hands on her and hit her, knocked her out. And so, yeah, it's going to be a combination of things to get to that. Or
top team and or Men of the Year are beating the shit out of Cody. Brandy comes out with Dustin. They scatter.
The top team chick beats on her.
They scatter. Lambert is still stuck in the ring because he's not nimble enough to get out of the ring, and gets a nice kick to the nuts and a slap to the face by Brandy. There you go. That's how you do it. She puts her hands on Lambert and gets the best of Lambert. Everybody's gonna be cheering that.
So it's been made clear from commercials I've seen or clips I've seen online
that she wants to wrestle.
That Brandy's best friends with Jade Cargill.
Okay.
What if the MMA chick from Top Team beats up Brandy, and out comes Jade?
I don't know if people will buy that because people are already like giving the appropriate reaction for Jade.
There's not enough people watching the show to correlate the two and actually pay it off?
No.
Okay. Just curious.
No, because you're trying to look for
or Red Velvet? Maybe Red Velvet?
Maybe with Red Velvet, but even then, like, you need to. The goal here
is priority is Cody.
The priority is Cody, not to have Jade put over Brandy and then Brandy like that trickle down economics doesn't work. Like
this ain't the 80s.
Yeah. That's too many steps, and you don't have enough fucking star power and shine on Jade for it to go from Jade to Brandy to Cody. Like no, or even from Velvet to Brandy to Cody. No, it's not enough. But Brandy's sticking up for her man and going Detroit Brandy and like doing something along those lines against the top team and against Lambert. That's going to be your last ditch effort to actually get a legitimate face reaction for Cody. And if that doesn't work, fuck it. Let him go full on heel. Let it go full on heel. Do not do the Cena shove down our throats, Roman shove down our throats. Because if it's not working, it's not working. And then just go ahead and flip it, listen to the audience.
Even good guys have to do bad things sometimes with Cody.
And then say, you know what, you guys, screw you guys. And go the way of the Bucks and go the way of Omega. Bucks and Omega were over, but then when people started kind of whispering, oh, well, they're getting their title shot because of this and that. Right? What was it, 2 years? Fucking Cody or Kenny was nowhere near the goddamn title scene. And right when he started getting sniffs of the title, oh, yeah, the CEO of the company are going to whatever, just like fucking Triple H want to be. So what did they do? They pulled the fucking trigger right then and there and turned his ass heel. right then and there.
And gave him the belt.
And gave him the belt, turned him heel. Boom. Had fucking the little skinny guy from Impact show up and be his manager. The little annoying guy. The fucking.
Anything else?
Nah, man, that's it. We need to get the fuck out of here. It's 10:30.
We will be back next year.
Yes.
End of the year.
At some point.
2021 in review.
Yes. We need to pick a date. We need to get Hector and Arnold to pin down a date.
Yeah. We have 4 matches for our match of the year.
Okay.
We might possibly be watching a 5th one because there are 2 women's matches that technically at one point in time were on our match of the year ballots. So it's up to you guys if you want to do a men's and a women's, or if we just stick to the 4 that we have. Because if we stick to the 4 we have,
it's going to be pretty obvious.
It's going to be pretty obvious.
We'll figure it out, man. We need to get the input of the other 2 in there, at least maybe even by text or something. Because if Hector's still out of the country and can't come back into the country, I mean, yeah. But we'll figure it out. But we really within the next at least within the next 14 days.
Yeah,
we need to have another show, our end of the year show.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, man. Well, that's it. Adios, my friends. Keep it classy.
No B-roll?
No B-roll. No B-roll. Fuck that, dude. It's 10:30. 10:36.